some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros, though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Welcome to the Saturday session on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Saturday. I am alongside the former Benfica, West Ham, Chelsea and Charlton fullback Scott Minto. Plenty to come for you. We're with you until 4 o'clock before England take on Andorra at Villa Park. Go on, England. It is live on talkSPORT. So what have we made of the Tuchel era so far? Has it all been a bit underwhelming or all a bit difficult to judge? We're going to get stuck into that. We'll also be chatting about the bombshell news this week that Daniel Levy is stepping down from his role at Tottenham. What does the future look like for Spurs in a post-Levy era? Spurs fans, are you excited? Are you a bit nervy about what's next? Is the grass always greener? All of that, plus Michael Owen has said that he was better than Wayne Rooney as a teenager. Is he right? We're going to ask Mr. Minto, who played against them both. He's going to settle it once and for all. Here we go then. This is the Saturday session on talkSPORT. Scott Minto, how you doing?
I am, Ollie. I don't know if am I the right person to judge. I'm not sure, but
no, you are. You are. You're the oracle of all. You will give us the definitive answer, I think.
How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm really good at it.
Are you happy that the window is closed now?
I am, as a Newcastle fan, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank the Lord. I mean, it was very exciting if you didn't support Newcastle, I think. But in the end, I actually think they had a pretty good window.
Yeah, I think they did pretty well.
All things told.
For the record, I'm not a Newcastle fan, and I did think it was very exciting. Probably the best window in years. But
yeah, glad you enjoyed it, mate. Yeah, great. I lived through stages of it. I mean, I think I was on air when Isak didn't turn up to the tour. And then I was on air when he stopped training. I was on air when he said he was going to refuse to play games. So, yeah, I mean, as a process, it's been a bit like a breakup. I've gone past the anger stage. I'm at kind of grief stage now.
Yeah. You trying to get a bit of maintenance for him as well? Or?
Yeah, well, I've moved on as well. You know, Voltemada now. He's my number one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And Vista.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, but I've had an exciting week, mate. I'm an uncle now. Became an uncle on Tuesday.
Brilliant.
So Project Whistler starts right now for my little nephew. Hopefully,
boy. It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully, Newcastle's future number 9. Yeah. How are you?
What's his name?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Tommy Clink up front.
He's going to play for the team.
Oh yeah,
The number 9.
In fact, my brother, to get him to sleep so far, has found that the only thing that works is just singing Newcastle chants.
Is that
to
right?
him? And I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
Could tape a bit of us and listen to us.
Just switch this on now. Yeah. How have you been? All good?
I've been really good, mate. I had a really good week. So I'm a patron of a kiddies charity, a local one based in Kent, where I live. But we actually went up to Chester, to Carden Park, played golf up there, and managed to persuade, probably about a year ago, David Moyes to be the A to my Q. So we had the weather was perfect. I thought it was going to team down. It didn't. It was really good. Maybe 1 or 2 holes, no more than that. And then it was obviously full of Everton fans, and you could hear a pin drop for 45 minutes. Yeah. David was absolutely brilliant. I mean, what an impact he's made. First of all, since coming into the club second time around. They say never go back, but he said it was an absolute no-brainer. I asked him about the transfer window as well, and he said that he was really happy with that, actually, but obviously he was trying to get a lot more. So almost it's that Everton need that year of not flirting with relegation, so players will say, okay, this is a big club that can now kick on. So I think he's waiting for that. That's what they're looking for this season. But yeah, it was a brilliant day.
And plenty of money raised.
Lots of money being raised as well. Yeah, it was. And I just want to say hello to David, Colin and Danny, who I played with in the 4-ball. They were...
Did you beat them?
No, we were a team.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so we finished about 12th out of 21, so
that would do.
We're kind of mid-table.
Yeah, mid-table, yeah.
Again, where Everton probably want to be by the end of the season.
You're the Crystal Palace of
yeah, kind of.
always coming to
no FA Cup win, but yeah.
yeah. Well, you've got one on your CV, to be fair. So
well,
you're
don't
all
like talk about
it. Yeah, you're all good. By the way, with Everton, Jack Grealish, what a start. I'm not surprised he's happy with the transfer window, because I think that one alone. I mean, I'm very excited for Grealish. It just feels like he's back, isn't he? He's got his mojo back, and that performance against Wolves. I mean, that's the Grealish we've been waiting to see, I think, for such a long time.
And on the face of it, some might say it's a bit of a strange one, because David Moyes is seen as being teams very well organised and not necessarily for Mavericks to be in there. But I think David he's already shown he's got the brilliant balance. He showed it at West Ham, allowing the players to go on, or certainly we'll look back now, and we will do in years to come, as probably a golden era where he was in charge. But he's saying, yeah, of course I want my players to sort of track back, but I'm basically allowing him to go where he wants once he's got the ball. So I think it's been brilliant. Merlin Roll as well. He just was asked to ask about him. He said he had one training session, and he said, when the lads sort of come off and they're going, yeah, we're having him. He's ready. So watch out for him as well. So, we'll see what happens with Everton this season.
Yeah, I think it could be fairly exciting for Everton this season, with the way they've started as well. Now, there was some bombshell news this week, wasn't there, Scott?
Was there?
Yeah. Just a bit. Did you, were you listening to talkSPORT? Daniel Levy ending his near 25-year reign as the executive chairman of Tottenham, stepping down. But talkSPORT understand, of course, that his departure was driven by the Lewis Family Trust. They control just over 60% of the club's shares. Levy owns around 28% of his. I think he keeps them at the moment, but his day-to-day running of the football club is going to stop. I mean, what was your initial reaction to the news?
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked. Listen, I'm not a Newcastle fan. I'm not an Everton fan. I'm definitely not a Spurs fan. But it's a massive club that should be doing a lot more on the pitch. But I think what he's done off the pitch, with the stadium, with it being multi-purpose, probably the best in Europe, one of the best in the world, one of the best training grounds as well. But I understand where fans have been coming from. The question is, what was his role? What was he asked to do? Was he asked to keep things ticking over and try and look good on the spreadsheet, or was it to win trophies? And if you're one, he's done really well. If you're not, if you're the other one, then he hasn't. It's slightly surprised in terms of timing as well, because I know there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot of changes as well. Obviously, Donna Cullen, the executive director, was out. Scott Munn was out. Peter Charrington in. Vinay Ventakasham has come in as the new CEO as well. So behind the scenes, and then obviously the manager himself, Thomas Frank, has come in as well. But it was that poor in the Premier League, but that's the first European trophy they won in 41 years. So to say they want it to be even better, okay, great. Let's go and see, because the whole thing, he's almost been the pantomime villain for 25 years, hasn't he? So let's see if he was the pantomime villain, or let's see whether actually, it's ENIC who are in control and nothing's going to change. Is it going to be that they're sort of setting it up for selling the club? Well, they've come out and said no. I think they're still probably looking for some kind of investment, maybe a Jim Ratcliffe type, while they've still got control. But it's fascinating, isn't it? Talk about the window, about how exciting that has been, one of the best in years. For Daniel Levy, and there's not many chairmen that are almost that well known, and it would rock football in the way if they'd gone. Whereas with him going, he was almost Mr. Spurs, wasn't he? So fascinating to see how Spurs are going to go going forward. And ENIC and the Lewis family quite simply have to put their hands in their pocket a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, there has been some rumours of around 100 million being injected in, and the Levy, stepping down from that role was related to the performances on the pitch. Because you are right to say, I mean, you can't argue with it from a business perspective. I mean, you only have to hear the opinion of Kieran Maguire, who is, of course, like the football finance, oracle, if you want. He always says Tottenham are the best run club. If you're looking at it as a business, that doesn't mean that they are good on the pitch. And we've obviously seen that over the last couple of seasons. And what a summer for Spurs, just generally. I mean, losing Ange, who's just won them a trophy. Frank comes in. Levy's now gone. They've had a pretty good transfer window as well. So I thought what was interesting is I was listening to Drive when the news broke, and also Spurs fans do get in touch 03717223344 because we do want to hear your views on this. But I was expecting a lot of these Tottenham fans to kind of be celebrating or really happy because there have been so many protests against Levy and the way he runs the club over the years. But actually there were a few going, well, is the grass always greener? At least we were quite stable. At least he did a few things that were actually very good.
Are you say people are backtracking, or
I don't know.
The ones who are quiet are now coming out and saying?
I don't know. Yeah,
I was listening as well, and I have obviously been listening over the last couple of days, and I was the same. It was almost, hold on a minute, it wasn't it about 90-10 or so? It felt like anti-Levy, and now it's almost not even 50-50 pro-Levy, or we need to be careful. And again, that's where I sort of say, look. In terms of money was spent. It was more just the wages. And then if you're going to pay low wages, then clearly you're not going to get the ready-made senior pros who will make a difference here and now. It was all about the future. But this is where ENIC and the Lewis family, okay, what you got?
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah.
Are you going to dip your hands in your pocket now? Because there is no protection now. Daniel Levy has gone, and he's gone because of you. So what have you got?
Yeah, it could be very exciting, couldn't it, for Tottenham supporters? When you look at Levy's legacy as well, and actually we're going to be joined by Flav Bateman, who hosts the Fighting Cock podcast, Big Spurs podcast. He's going to join us in a sec. So he'll tell us whether he is part of that 90 or part of that 10, when it comes to Levy stepping down. But when you look at his legacy, obviously things like the stadium, you've got to give him credit for. It is fantastic. It is one of the best in Europe, if not maybe the best, etc. They did win a couple of trophies, but there are some mistakes for me that really stick out. Firstly, the sacking of Jose Mourinho in the week of a final. I just don't understand why he did that. But the other one for me, and I feel like this is a real sliding doors moment for Spurs. I don't know what you think, Scott, but it was after they got to that Champions League final, and then Maurizio Pochettino and that squad were incredibly exciting, and they built up really well. And then there was just that real lack of proper investment. They did buy a couple of players, but lack of proper investment to really try and kick on. And I just feel like that was the moment where that relationship properly would have turned, because eventually Pochettino obviously leaves.
I think to say it's a sliding doors moment is a perfect way of saying it. To get to the Champions League final with what was a really exciting team at that time. And if you remember, it was about a 3-week gap, that game, wasn't it? So you couldn't really put any form into it. It was just almost a one-off game. Come off holiday, lads. Let's play this game. Oh, by the way, it's the Champions League final. But obviously the start of it was just poor, and then they couldn't recover. But it was like, okay, this is the time now to kick on. Spurs at that particular time, even though people claim they finished third in a 2-horse race, but they did push Leicester. And it was about, okay, are we going to go to the next level? And I've heard that, David Pleat, I think, came on here a year or so ago. And I know Simon Jordan, who I agree with so much of what he says, but he said that David Pleat had said that someone had said to him within the coaching staff that Pochettino didn't want any more players, or didn't want to bring in players. I don't believe that it was he didn't want to bring in players. I think it was perhaps the players that were put to him. He's gone, no, they're not better than what we've already got.
Yeah.
We either get better or we don't get anyone at all. I cannot believe that Pochettino has said we're not willing to kick on here.
Which might have been Levy trying to look for market opportunities.
Absolutely.
Rather than going for the best at the time.
Absolutely.
When
that was the moment.
Yeah, when you look at what, for instance, Liverpool have done this season, they've fixed the roof while the sun's still shining, etc. Look, Spurs weren't quite in that situation, but they could have built on from there. Really interested to hear from Spurs fans. 03717 22 3344. Now the dust has settled. Now you might have got over the kind of shock of Daniel Levy leaving that. Or have you? Come on and tell us. And like I say, in just a moment here on talkSPORT, we're going to be joined by Flav Bateman from the Fighting Cock podcast for his view in just a moment here on talkSPORT.
This is Piers Morgan. I've just heard the terrible news that Daniel Levy is leaving Tottenham Hotspur, and this is obviously an absolutely devastating day for Arsenal fans everywhere. We've relied on Daniel to ensure that Tottenham are always not as good as Arsenal. Now what will we do? I'm devastated.
That was the view of Piers Morgan, big Arsenal fan, getting in touch with the breakfast show following the news that Levy has stepped down as Tottenham chairman. This is the Saturday session on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside the former Chelsea fullback Scott Minto. I mean, does he have a point that, as a fan of a rival club to Tottenham, of course, should there be a few nerves around about what the future could hold for Tottenham? Because he will definitely be leaving it in a very, very good place financially. So all it will take is a bit of investment. And, you know, in terms of revenue, Tottenham are pretty good. So PSR, will it be that much of a problem? Do you know what I mean? So actually for rival clubs, should they start to get worried about what Spurs could become?
Well, look, PSR is absolutely not the problem. In terms of balancing the books, I think it's been a 42% wages to turnover, percentage. And that's the lowest in the Premier League. So absolutely they can kick on if they want to. I just think if you were going to do it, why not do it? And who made the decision to get rid of Ange, if that's the case? If you're going to get rid of Daniel Levy, are you going to let Daniel Levy make the decision to, one, sack the manager and then, two, appoint the next manager? So we don't yet know, or I've not heard how much of a say the Lewis family have had in the appointment of Thomas Frank. If they had no say in it, it was all Daniel Levy, that could be slightly concerning for Thomas Frank, but ultimately it's all about results. But if you are thinking about getting rid of him, why not get rid of him at the same time as getting rid of Ange, or straight after the Europa League final? In the way that everyone said, well, Ange did it, he won it in his second season. Yeah, thank you very much. You can go off and you know, your reputation is not tarnished. I'm not going to say that Daniel Levy's reputation isn't tarnished, but certainly would have finished on a high. So why not do it then? And then you've got the whole window to try and crack on and show your intention. Bit strange for me, to be honest with you, doing it straight after the window is finished.
Yeah, it is indeed. We're going to get the view of Flav Bateman in just a moment. But first, Richard is a Spurs fan. Richard, how are you feeling about all this? Now the dust has settled a bit. Are you celebrating Levy going, or do you think, well, hold on, is the grass always greener?
I'm not celebrating him going. I think he's done a fantastic job with the stadium and the training ground. And obviously, transfers at times have been very, very frustrating. The most recent one is Jack Grealish. He should be a Tottenham player. He is just as, he's the sort of player we've had at Tottenham over the decades. You know, Gascoigne, Hoddles, that sort of player. And to miss out on him because of what rumours were, because Levy wouldn't pay the $4 million, is very frustrating. But the thing with me, Levy might still be gone, but Joe Lewis is still the owner and ENIC, and does that mean that anything's going to change in the transfer market? At the end of the day, whether Levy was there or not, Joe Lewis was the boss, and he held the purse strings as far as that's what I think.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point that, Richard. 03717 223344. I mean, he makes a good point. It could be more of the same, really.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like now, if you're going to get rid of, and it's almost that protection for not having criticism, because Daniel Levy has had a lot over the last couple of decades.
He's taken the brunt, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So if you're going to get rid of him, you have to now kick on. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to get it and some. Times 10. So interesting. I know we're going to talk about Owen and Rooney as well. You just mentioned Gaza. I also played against Gaza as well, which was just an amazing experience. Quick story. We're at White Hart Lane. I'm playing left wing. I've done something on the right. As I'm running over, Pat Vandenhouw off the ball has just elbowed me in the face. I'm 18 years of age, skinny, spotty kid, and I've got claret everywhere. My blood's rushing out the nose. Gaz is on the ball. He does his 12s. No one can get anywhere near him. He looks up. He's kind of seen it with blood gushing down. He's picked up the ball, said to the ref, go and sort the young lad out.
Really?
That's on the pitch as well. So amazing person. As well.
I was just waiting for a cheeky little comment there that he might have made.
He was brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, what a great man. What a player as well. Oh, my word. Right, let's bring in Flav Bateman. He's the host of the Fighting Cock podcast, big Spurs fan. Flav, now that dust has all settled on this, where are you standing on Levy stepping down? Are you happy with it?
I think it's just the right time. We know and we have. We know what we're going to get from Daniel Levy. It's been evident for the last 25 years. And that's not to say that his tenureship at Tottenham hasn't been, very positive for the football club. And he's transformed us from what the club he took over in 2001 to the one he's left. It's just a different club altogether. And our aspirations are directly linked to the good work that he's done through the years. And there's been moments where you need to criticise him as well. But for the large part, I think he's had a net positive impact on his time at Spurs, and we're a better club for him having run us. But it was almost a case of us going round the same roundabout over and over again. And you could see in the last 18 to 24 months that the sort of groundswell of opinion against him was growing. And it was evident and the protests were being reported widely across all media, being talked about on massive podcasts on talkSPORT constantly. So it was inevitable that something had to give. It's interesting, Scott, what you said about June. That period in June seems to be quite an interesting period, because Venkatesham essentially was in effect. Thomas Frank was brought in. The decision to sack and was most likely came from a combined conversation between Venkatesham and Levy, but probably Venkatesham. Interestingly, Romero also said in June he'd decided to stay at Tottenham and become our captain, when at the time everyone believed that he was going to Atletico Madrid, and for him to then sign a new contract, it was just like, what is going on? Like, something is going on behind the scenes that convincing these players to stay, and players that we never thought we could get in Xavi Simons, and even getting Kolo Muani over the line in such a short amount of time. Something has shifted. I don't know what. Maybe I'm looking into it a little bit too much, but something has shifted behind the scenes, and for Levy to leave as well, it all sort of makes sense. There is a great opportunity for Tottenham to behave differently, act differently, be more aggressive, and less of a passive, reactive club that we have been, and go out and get something that we haven't experienced for a long, long time in Tottenham, and that's challenges for league titles. That's what our aim should be now. I don't think that was ever possible under Daniel Levy. Yeah,
it's interesting, Flav, isn't it? The sort of timing of it. You talk about the Kolo Muani and Xavi Simons. That's obviously, they were brought in very, very late in the window. We've already we haven't really talked about Eze and how it sort of somehow came second in a one-horse race, but also Jack Grealish didn't even seem to go in for him. So do you think there was a point within the window where, the Lewis family just said, you know what, I know we've started to take over behind the scenes, but we need to do something a little bit quicker now. Why didn't they do that beforehand? Why didn't they get in the likes of Eze? Why didn't they get in the likes of Grealish? Why did they wait until the very last moment to make those signings?
I think it was the appetite for change is coming from the Lewis family. That seems to be apparent. We need to move away from this idea that Joe Lewis is in control and has been in control of Tottenham. Effectively, he's the owner, but he's the owner of and the lead of Tavistock, which owns 200 companies in 13 different countries across the globe. He can't run Tavistock and run Tottenham. He wasn't running Tottenham. He never had a controlling interest or an active controlling interest. Obviously, it effectively is his club. So the fact that his daughter, Vivian Lewis, and the son, Charles, has come in, and if you believe what you're told, and a lot of it could be nonsense, that there was a clash point between Daniel Levy and Vivian Lewis, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end for Levy. If you believe the rumours, Daniel Levy was potentially in a situation where he was scuppering or making difficult a potential investment and new owners. I'm just regurgitating what I've been told. That might not be true, but it feels like it might be based on how he's gone about his transfer business. The Eze deal was just like the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, because he had a free run at Eze. Of course, as it transpires, Eze wanted to go to Arsenal, which is fine. That's his choice. It was the wrong one, but
only when Arsenal came in, they were in, then they were out, and they were in again.
It was the Havertz injury, right? They decided that they had that plan, they had that deal in place on the 10th of August, if I remember rightly, and then suddenly, as soon as they wanted him, they clicked their fingers, and he was gone. Whereas Daniel Levy had a free run of about 9 days before the Havertz injury, and he couldn't get it done because, again, if you believe what you read, he was arguing over small details about bonus payments, and time kills deals. We know that phrase, and he just took too long, and Arsenal just came in and activated what they'd already agreed. So very frustrating, and like I say, the probably a great example of why it was time for him to move on, because clubs like Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, they're aggressive in the transfer market, and Spurs were reactive under Daniel Levy.
So Flav, the transfer window is always slammed shut. What are you expecting from this particular Spurs squad this season? You're saying about going forward, you want to be aiming for the Premier League title itself, but what about this current Spurs squad for this current season?
Yeah, I said before it started, when Frank took over Spurs, with my most positive hat on, I thought we could finish 5th. We're certainly much, much better than 17th. but it's going to be difficult. I know this is just such a boring answer. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. I think
it's like a footballer, Flav.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
It's all about 3 points at the end of the day.
Let me have another go. I definitely think we can. I definitely think we can finish fifth, 100%. And the squad is there. The new players are coming. I think that obviously because of PSR issues, Newcastle and Villa, less so Newcastle because of the business they did after Isak with the Isak money, but Villa are in a difficult position, and so there is an opportunity for Tottenham to take that fifth spot. But it's early doors for Thomas Frank, isn't it? So we'll see. But I'm excited. I look forward to watching Spurs play for the first time in a long time.
Flav, thanks very much indeed, mate. Flav Bateman there from the Fighting Cock podcast. I mean, it's change, isn't it, for Spurs? It is quite exciting as he's talking about, and I think fifth's realistic for Spurs this season.
Do you know what? I sort of predicted my 1 to 4, and I cannot predict. I mean, I'm literally just throwing a name out for the sake of it if I try and say fifth, and even after just a couple of games or 3 games of the season so far, that fifth place is up for grabs for so many teams. The only thing I'd say about Spurs, I think people realise how difficult it is. It's one thing to combine, as we saw with Chelsea and the squad that they've got, massive squad, the Premier League and the Conference League, or even the Premier League and the Europa League. But to combine the Premier League and the Champions League, that is not an easy thing to do, as we saw with Villa. Whenever they follow the Champions League, it was a tough game for them straight after.
Newcastle a couple of seasons ago.
Newcastle a couple of seasons ago. But I totally agree, fifth place is up for grabs.
We'll see how they get on for the rest of this season. In just a moment here on talkSPORT, we're going to be chatting about England, though. They're in action at Villa Park a bit later on. It is live on talkSPORT. They're taking on Andorra. We're going to ask whether Harry Kane really needs to start today. young man. What a tune. Oh, it's Saturday, isn't it? Lovely. Saturday session here on talkSPORT.
Classic tune.
Oh, what a tune this is. I can see you cutting shapes for this.
No.
Scott, belting out young man.
I have to be extremely intoxicated given the old YMCA one. I might have done it once.
He comes out after midnight. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside Scott Minto, known by his mates on the dance floor as Scotty Too Hotty, of course. Big fan of this song.
Hold on a minute, you're now implying that I've asked for that song. I'm not at all.
All the requests are coming from Scott.
No, that is not true.
Yeah.
But Jack in there, he knows the type of music I like. If it's not house, it's sort of 80s music.
Yeah. So you did ask
that's
for it.
70s.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for YMCA. I did.
Oh yeah, we believe you. I've realised we're wearing the same thing as well. We're both wearing a black t-shirt. We got the memo today.
Blue jeans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where's yours from, though? Just to make sure they're different.
That's a good question. Maybe Reese, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not on that kind of money. Mine's probably Primark or something like that. Right, they've just got underway. It's the opening weekend of the WSL, and they've just got underway at the Emirates. It's Arsenal against the London City Lionesses, promoted to the WSL this season. Watching for talkSPORT, Charlotte Richardson.
Good afternoon, guys. Arsenal 0, London City 0 here. The WSL's most expensive player, Olivia Smith, has started for Arsenal as the European champions begin the season against the Lionesses, the only independent women's team in the top flight. The visitors have invested over $2 million in their squad, building to become a threat at this level, and only a handful of the players who started their last game in the championship feature in today's 11. There are some familiar top flight names such as Nikita Paris, Katie Zellum and Alana Kennedy handed their debuts. And look, in the opening 5 minutes here, London City have made very, very clear that they aren't just here to make up the numbers, they are here to compete and to try and pinch points from North London. No shots on target for either team. It's Arsenal 0, London City 0.
Very, very interesting, very ambitious London City Lionesses, of course. Chelsea off to a winning start yesterday. It was on talkSPORT 2. They beat
Go on to Chelsea.
Man City 2-1 in defence of their title. Right, we're going to be chatting about England, Andorra in just a moment. But first, for a bit of fun, for me and Scott and the listeners, our England correspondent Faye Carruthers has set us all some homework before we hand over to Adrian and the team at 4 o'clock. Let's have a listen.
I love a bit of a brain teaser. And as you know, on talkSPORT today, we're building up to live commentary of England against Andorra at Villa Park. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff, but the last time England played in the second city was back in February 2005. It was a goalless draw against the Netherlands, scintillating it sounds. But throughout the show, it is the job of you two to name the 19 ex-Premier League players who started that game. Little hint for you, 11 of them were in the England team and 8 of them in the Dutch team. Good luck. Listeners, you can get involved as well. 81089, see how many you can get.
What was the year?
2005.
2005. It's good. I was listening.
Retired in 2006.
2005? Oh my word!
Absolutely killing us with that, and we're going to need help from the listeners.
Right, should we give it a bit of a go? Let's try and get one each to kick us off. 2005.
No, because the reason Villa Park, I'm pretty sure Chrissy Powell. It might even been his debut against Spain, and he nutmegged Pep Guardiola.
No way.
Yeah, England, Spain, but I think that was a few years earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go with Chris Powell?
No.
Okay. Who are you gonna go with?
Oh well, you could have given me a bit of warning. Faith, give me a bit of time.
No, we want you on the spot, mate.
Can we quickly,
Scott on the spot.
Quickly look at any...
You've got 2 hours as well, mate.
Any listeners to give me a little bit of help?
Yeah, well, you can text us on 81089.
Well, 2005 would have been... That's obviously the Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney...
Oh, he's flying through them now. Flying through them. So
yeah.
Gerrard, Lampard...
Rio, JT, Ashley Cole.
Okay.
Would it be David James?
What about the Dutch team? 2005. Edgar Davids?
When did Dirk Kuyt play?
Ooh, was he a bit later?
He might
have been in that squad, though.
He might have been.
Not sure. Okay, well, we'll reveal some of the answers. We'll see if Scott...
What about my mate Jimmy Floyd?
Oh, good shout.
Would he be in there?
Shout. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Give us a text on 81089 as well. You're not allowed to Google is the only rule.
There's no Google game.
Yeah, it is indeed. We've already had a text in from Sam. Is straight on it.
Go on, Sam.
He's gone Edgar Davids. I think that's a good shout, you know. And Rijkaard. Maybe. Was he
Premier League? He didn't play Premier League, did he?
Come on, Sam. Oh, got one from Phil. Van Persie.
Van Persie, good one. Yeah, absolutely.
Surely.
No.
And Overmars. Bit late for him?
Yes.
Or do you reckon he's in that one?
No.
No.
When was Yap? No, Yapstam. Well, no, was it current Premier League players?
Yeah.
2000, he wasn't in them, was he?
Interesting.
Yeah, we need help.
Yeah, we do need help. Keep them coming in on 81089. We'll remind you of the question as well throughout the show. Don't worry, we've got ages. We've got 2 hours and 20 minutes to get all 19 players, and I'm sure there's some rogue ones in there. So when you're texting in, the roguer the better, because we're going to need to get some of those.
I'm hearing it was playing in the Premier League at any point, so it didn't have to be Premier League at that particular moment.
Okay. I love how you said I'm hearing like Jim White then. It's just come through to us here at talkSPORT. As the window slams shut. Anyway, should we chat a bit about England as well?
You need to do more impersonations. I don't think people realise how good you are.
Yeah. Don't worry, we've got 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we'll get some of them in as well. In terms of the game, obviously, it should be a bit of a formality for England, although they only beat them 1-0 earlier in the season. So the question I've got for you, Scott, Harry Kane, what a record he's got for England, over 70 goals. I think he's on 108 appearances, by the way, and the most capped outfield player is Wayne Rooney on 120. So he'll want to
smash that.
Yeah, exactly. Of course he will. So my question for you is it necessary for Harry Kane to start this game today?
No. I mean, to the point where I look back at the Euros and we still don't know whether he was injured or whether he wasn't. But it was almost like, because of the build-up to that particular tournament he played in every game, it was almost as if there's no way he's going to get dropped or rested, or can't say rested, it would have been dropped. Harry Kane being dropped for England. And listen, I'm a massive Harry Kane fan. I've got nothing but respect for the person as well as the footballer, the way he's come through, where it didn't look like the loan spells that he had. It looked like he might not even be a Premier League player, let alone an England player and one of the greatest players we've produced, and England's greatest ever, I don't know about greatest ever, top goal scorer. So I still think Jimmy Greaves is our greatest ever. So I've got nothing but respect for him. And he's not just a number 9. He can drop in and be almost like a number 10. So he's a brilliant footballer as well as a goal scorer. But the last thing we need is Harry Kane to be playing every single game, to the point where we go into another tournament. If he's not playing well, then it seems like we can't drop Harry Kane because, we didn't drop him in the qualifiers, and, we can bring on Olly Watkins, who, okay, yes, he's not started well this season, but, what he did in the semi-final coming off the bench was brilliant. But he needs to feel, and because he's the number 2 in this particular squad, he needs to feel that he has belief from the manager. And I just think if Harry Kane's starting both games, which if he's going to start today, he's going to start on Tuesday, and he will start today, then at what point do you get that belief? It's a general kind of rule, but it's very, very general about people are sort of saying when they go into England squads that they need 10 squads just to feel a sort of a part of it. And obviously it's very individual. Some can go in and be bang straight away. Some actually can need a lot more than 10. But my point is that Olly Watkins needs to be shown the faith that actually he can do it. And this is a perfect game for him, where if he makes the right runs, he should get the chances. Yes, there will be dropping deep. It'll be a 5-4-1 again. But we know what Harry Kane can do. And we don't want to get to the point to the next tournament in the summer where he's not playing well, he's not getting dropped. Because if you're not going to drop him in or rest him or do whatever you want to call it in the qualifiers, are you really going to do it in the big tournaments?
Let's have a quick listen to Thomas Tuchel. He was asked yesterday whether Kane will start this game.
Yes, he starts this one. There's no balance. The only balance there is like I said, the competition is on. It's World Cup season. We have a condensed period of 3 camps. Competition is on, and that means we will start with the team that we trust and with the best team possible for this game. And then we will manage the second game. We will not do it backwards and manage theoretically more difficult away game than a home game. We will not start getting caught up in experiments like this.
See, I'm with you though here, Scott, because Andorra, we know, are just going to sit every man behind the ball. And I think you're right in terms of, Harry Kane, and obviously we hope this doesn't happen, but you never know. He could pick up an injury before the tournament. We've seen that happen so many times with England, even if it's mid-tournament as well. So England need to know what it is like to play without their talisman up front, and especially if they're playing against a team, which I think they'll come up against a lot at the World Cup, who are going to sit and try and frustrate them as much as possible. And you can sit there and say Andorra aren't of the quality. Well, England only beat them 1-0 last time. So you're expecting a better result, but I think the fact that he's only had 4 games in charge, Thomas Tuchel, and I think he's only got 4 camps left until the World Cup. So as much as he's talking about not experimenting, it kind of needs to. As much as these are qualifiers and they're important games, he needs to do a bit of that so they do have contingencies when they head into tournaments.
Yeah, but and I'm a Thomas Tuchel fan. What he did at Chelsea was brilliant, and I personally don't think he should have gone, but that's water under the bridge now. But I don't want to say hypocritical, but it's kind of double standards because he absolutely is experimenting. He's absolutely is experimenting in terms of the squad that he picks, even Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming in at last moment, and he's absolutely experimenting when it comes to the teams that he's picked. You know, I've got here in front of me the 4 11s that he's picked for the games that he's been in charge.
Just going to stop you there quickly, Scott, because there is a penalty at the Emirates in the WSL. Arsenal against London City Lionesses. Charlotte Richardson.
London City Lionesses captain Kosovare Asllani stands with her hands on her hips. She's won the visitors a penalty. This is against the script. This is the WSL newbies with the chance to take the lead. Kosovare Asllani finds the bottom corner and wheels away in celebration with all of her teammates cool, calm and composed. Let's not forget that Kosovare Asllani is the player who joined this London City Lionesses back when they were a championship side. Not many would have expected them to be the ones to break the deadlock here against the European champions, but they have done exactly that from the penalty spot. It's Arsenal 0, London City 1.
Wow, what a start for the newly promoted side, and we've just seen that penalty, Scott. It's right in the corner, wasn't it? Keeper went the right way, but that's a lovely finish.
It needed to be in the right place because, keeper went the right way. I mean, one thing I'd say is, and Arsenal are very good at it, I mean, the fans there, just in numbers, the atmosphere at the Emirates is brilliant, isn't it? It really is. But for her to step up, to take that pressure, to put it so much into the corner against the run of play, against the Champions League holders. What a game.
Yeah.
What a game.
What a
I'm
start.
sure Charlotte's absolutely loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll check in with Charlotte throughout the afternoon. Do you want to just finish the point that you were making?
No, I have no idea what I was saying. No, the point I was making was if people want to, they can turn around and say, but hold on a minute, with everybody else but Harry Kane, you're experimenting. If you look at the teams that he's picked, it's a different back 4, it's a different holding 2, it's a different front 3. And yet Harry Kane is the only one. I mean, there's Jordan Pickford and Declan Rice who have been starting in 3 of the 4. But Harry Kane is the only one who started all 4. So you have experimented, for whatever the reason, with other positions. You just don't with Harry Kane. And there's something about Harry Kane. He comes across as this real mild-mannered, great professional, and clearly he is. But he's got that steel about him that's almost looking at the manager and saying, no. You need me. I want to start in every single game. I not only want to smash the caps, but I want to get the goals to the point where no one's going to get a million miles. No one's going to get anywhere near it. So, but in this particular game, we don't need Harry Kane. Now, Ollie Watkins is better going in behind, so therefore with a high line he'd suit it. I get it in terms of a pure football point of view, but with the greatest of respect, this is Andorra. Yeah. It wasn't pretty in the last game, but we still should win, and Ollie Watkins needs to feel as if he can step in if Harry Kane is injured or not playing well in a major tournament and do well.
You can have your thoughts on today's game, by the way, 03717 2233 444. Tuchel has said that Kane will start, but does he really need to? Should Ollie Watkins have been given that chance to maybe prove what he can do and keep those texts coming in? By the way, some amazing shouts for the England-Netherlands starting 11. The last time the Three Lions played at Villa Park, Faker Brothers set us this question. Good shout from Powley, the Newcastle fan. Patrick Kluivert.
Patrick Kluivert,
who would have been at Newcastle at that time. Dennis Bergkamp.
Of course.
Do you know what's funny? We've had more Dutch players coming in than England players. Iron Robin. Surely was in that.
2005.
So, we'll let you know if you were right after the break. That was from Darren, by the way, the Dennis Bergkamp shout. So keep them coming in as well. We have to nail down 19 players.
Has anyone taken count here, by the way? How many we're up to?
I'm hoping those Wallies behind the glass are doing something. I hope they're picking up. I've just seen a shake of the head, so it's clearly a bit of a shambles back there. I'm joking.
I was going to say it's bang out of order to see him calling you a Wally, but clearly if you're not keeping up with what we're saying,
Jack's too busy picking songs like YMCA, so we can forgive him. But we'll find out in just a moment whether those shouts are right. But some good ones coming in. Keep them coming on 81089. You can have your say on England on 03717 22 3344. Good work, Jack. That got a little from Scott Minto.
Brilliant.
You've got him in a great mood with your tunes, mate. Well done. Really, really.
He's on fire, Jack.
He's on fire, Jack, today. He is. He's dancing.
He's in his early 30s, I think, and yet he loves the 80s.
He's got 80s hair, though, hasn't he?
Jack?
Yeah. He's born too late.
70s, actually.
Born too late. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Chelsea fullback Scott Minto. Now, Faye Crothers set us some trivia. The last time England played at Villa Park, it was a 0-0 draw with the Netherlands back in 2005. We've had shouts flooding in because we need to name the 19 players from both England and the Netherlands.
There's been some great names, haven't there? But we're not sure that all of them were at that time.
They both played. They all played in the Premier League at some point. Now, we've had some very, very good shouts coming in. I said Patrick Kluivert, by the way, was a good shout. Wasn't playing.
Okay.
Wasn't playing in that game. So sorry about that, Pauli. We have had a shout here, though. And do put your names on the text to 81089. Belarus.
Belarus.
And that is correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
Didn't he wear the number 9 shirt at Chelsea and he was right back?
Yeah.
Like, what is the number 9 doing right back?
Would you have ever done that?
No.
No, absolutely not. That was
I wore the 11 one time at Charlton.
Did you?
They in a year they did it alphabetical. So Stewie Barmer wore the number 1 and he was our centre half.
That's nonsense.
Mental, yeah.
That's absolute nonsense. That should be illegal, I think. We've had some other shouts, though, as well. Bal says, Iron Robin, he wasn't in that Holland team as well. By the way, you're going to have to dig quite deep because I feel like we've covered some of the ones that you might know. I think we've had the likes of Lampard, haven't we? We've had Owen, we've had Rooney. You're going to have to dig fairly deep on that England team, especially the subs that came on in that game.
Sinclair?
Trevor Sinclair is not there.
Okay.
Bit late for him, potentially, I think. But yeah, keep them coming in on 8, 10, 89. That shout Belarus is the best so far, I would say. A lot of people saying Van der Vaart as well. That is correct. Van der Vaart was playing in that game. Good player, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, good player.
Was,
Absolutely. We've been chatting about England. They're facing Andorra a bit later on today. We've been asking whether Harry Kane really should start this game. Adam is a Manchester United fan, also an England fan. Adam, what do you make of it?
How you doing, lads?
Good, mate.
Yeah,
How
good,
are
mate.
you?
Yeah, I'm with my son in the car at the moment. We were just having a conversation. Can I just give a shout out firstly? He's starting the season tomorrow. He's under 9. He plays for Woodbourne Warriors in Whittle in the Midlands. So,
Woodbourne Warriors. What's his name?
It's Jude.
Go on, Jude. Is he a centre mid?
Yeah, he plays a bit of everything. He plays centre back, a bit of right wing. He's a good little player.
Brilliant, Jude. Good luck.
Good luck, Jude.
Thank you very much. But I was just saying to your producer, I just feel as though we might be going through this international pathway here, and when you've seen it with other home teams, as you know, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, are we relying too much on Harry Kane? You know, gone are the days when we've had this argument today on the station as well of Rooney, Owen. We've had Shearer, Sheringham, Ian Wright. I mean, Andy Cole couldn't get near an England team. I mean, we'd cry out for an Andy Cole nowadays. My only fear is we've just said Olly Watkins, a great professional, great player. He bailed us out in the Euros. But are we really, as England, as a favourite for a tournament, relying on Olly Watkins if Harry Kane's not going to be around? I mean, I just feel as though we need to, in these games especially, let Harry Kane have a rest and let's find some, this new number 9 for England.
So who do we rely on if we can't rely on Ollie, especially with the squad picked? But even if you could pick the squad, who would your plan B be?
Again, I thought Ivan Toney was a shoo-in. I thought years ago Tammy Abraham was a shoo-in. These players just, I don't know. They seem to just be playing second fiddle to Harry Kane. We need to find this new number 9 because I'm telling you something right now. 2 seasons' time, we're going to be in trouble. And the Frances, Argentinas, Germanys of this world, they're going to keep finding them, and we're not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great call, Adam.
Jude, play up front, mate. A couple of years might be a bit too early for you, but
yeah,
absolutely as well.
We'll pop him in.
Get him on the plane. Great stuff, Adam. Thanks for the call. 03717223344. I do think Adam is right as well. I mean, there's a bit of a dearth of strikers. The only other name I thought of was Liam Delap. Now, obviously, he's got an injury at the moment. And the other thing that must be a bit of a frustration for Delap is obviously he's in competition, isn't he, with João Pedro. I have got one question for you. You know I'm a Newcastle fan, right? But obviously the move to Chelsea, I understand it completely because...
Are we going to go there now, are we?
Because he's getting Champions League football. Before I come to that, there has been a goal at the Emirates for Charlotte Richardson.
Oh, guys, and I don't know if you can see a replay of this in the studios, but this is what £1 million buys you in the WSL. Arsenal 1, London City 1. She hasn't had many touches on the football, but Olivia Smith has produced a moment of absolute quality on the outskirts of the area, fired the ball beyond the goalkeeper, who had absolutely no chance. Arsenal have been struggling in the final third to find the fluidity. London City really narrowing and congesting things up in midfield, meaning that wide players like Chloe Kelly on the left and Smith on the right weren't really getting into the game. But goodness me, Olivia Smith has announced herself on her Arsenal debut. She draws things level. Arsenal 1, London City 1.
Yeah, that is a belter from Olivia Smith, right in the top left-hand corner. No chance for the keeper there. And celebrations for Arsenal back in the game. 1-1 there now. We'll keep across that throughout the afternoon. Just very quickly.
Pay the big money.
Absolutely. Just very quickly then. Liam Delap, if he had gone to Newcastle and they were linked with him, he would have been starting every single game, you'd imagine, pretty much. in a World Cup year.
If Gerard Pedro would have gone, he would have been starting as well. But let's keep it to England. Yeah.
But is it a bit of a frustration for Liam Delap that there will be that competition for Chelsea?
No. You can't go to Chelsea and then complain you've got competition. You know, that Chelsea now are getting very much back to where they were not that long ago, and that is one of the very best teams in the country and in Europe. And look, a lot of money's been spent. I'm not quite sure it needed to be spent in terms of that much, but 3 years in, they're in a really good place now. Won the Europa Conference League, should have done that. Finished fourth, did very well in my opinion to do that. Won the Club World Cup and smashed PSG. Absolutely fantastic. So I still feel it's not about winning the Premier League now for Chelsea this season. It's going to be a very difficult thing to do, to combine that and the Champions League. But if you're going to Chelsea, you know you've got competition.
Yeah, so I'm just being bitter then, am I? There we go. Not for the first time.
Well, you've got Voltemada now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Johan Wisak as well. We're all good, mate. We're all good. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT. We'll continue our England chat in just a moment. To get your calls in 0371722 3344 and keep those shouts coming in on 81089. Some brilliant ones have made it through. Some right, some wrong. I'll reveal in just a moment. DJ Jack is having the time of his life.
70, isn't he? Blondie.
Blondie. Like a bit of Blondie?
Yeah, she's not my favourite, but again, it's one of those where...
Yeah, you've missed the mark there, Jack, then.
Like it. No, it's a classic tune. Heart of Glass.
I love that. That was a bit like a footballer's on touch. Is that no disrespect to Blondie? It's not one of my favourites. But...
Debbie Harry, or was it Deborah Harry? I'm not quite sure. But anyway,
one of the two. This is the Saturday session with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Chelsea, Benfica and West Ham fullback and big fan of 80s music, Scotty Too Hottie, Scott Minto. This hour, we're going to be talking about player power. Has it gotten out of control? And whether Scott would have behaved in the way that Alexander Isak and Johan Wissa did to force moves. Obviously, nothing wrong with what Johan Wissa did. I'm joking.
Yeah, of course. Double standard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all so hypocritical, isn't it? We'll also keep you up to speed with Arsenal against London City Lionesses. It's currently 1-1 at the Emirates. They're 10 minutes away from half-time. And there's plenty of EFL action today in League One and League Two. So we'll keep you across that. A big day down the pyramid. And a bit later on, we want to know what your favourite ever or most memorable disallowed goal is. We'll tell you why. We're going to talk about that a bit later on. This is the Saturday session on talkSPORT. First, though, I've got to get through some of these shouts that are coming in. Do you know what? Ever since I said you need to think outside the box a bit, some of the shouts have been brilliant. Let me run through some of them. Ron Vlaar, Chris from Nottingham says, a few people have said Ron Vlaar, not in that team. I'm afraid. Bolo Zenden as well.
Bolo Zenden.
Not in that team. But yeah, the Dutch shouts are absolutely flying in. One name that keeps coming up, and it is correct, is of course Edwin van der Sar.
Yeah.
Who I have a bit of history with as well.
Go on. You got a story, didn't you?
Yeah. What happened? Well, I took a penalty shootout against van der Sar.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to ask if I scored?
I think the fact you brought it up probably shows you did score.
Just 3, mate. Don't worry about it. But in the process, I rolled my ankle and then couldn't walk for about a month. So,
that is karma.
Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Were you giving it to him as well? As you?
Oh, yeah. No, I sent him the wrong way every time as well.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Was he trying? Honestly?
I think harder than in the Champions League final. Yeah, I don't think he was trying at all. But
I do remember we played, he was at Fulham and I was at West Ham and it was 0-0. I think Fulham were at Loftus Road at the time. 0-0, last minute, Paulo Di Canio wins a penalty.
Oof.
So, and he's well known at that particular point for dinking it down the middle, did it at Anfield, did it at lots of places. So it's the last kick of the game. We either draw or we win. It's all on Paulo. It's all on Edwin van der Sar. So obviously Edwin van der Sar, top keeper that he was and went on to become even better. He's standing there and literally is expecting the ball down the middle. Yeah. And Paulo literally keeps his head up, which is why I don't mind, providing they have got the composure and confidence to do it, to keep the head up. And literally rolled it where it almost didn't even hit the net. But he knew he was standing up, so he just passed it into the side. We won 1-0, and Edwin van der Sar was very angry about it.
So you're saying I had the same skill as...
I am absolutely not putting you and Paulo Di Canio in the same sentence.
I'm showing you the penalties.
Although I haven't seen them, yeah, it's true. Fair enough.
I'll show you them, of course, in the next break. But keep the shouts coming in on 8, 10, 89. I'll go through all of the ones that have been said as well in a moment. But the reason we're doing it, the last time England played at Villa Park, it was a 0-0 draw in 2005 against the Netherlands. We want to know the 19 players that at some point played in the Premier League for both England and for the Netherlands. So
do we know what we're up to? What number?
Oh, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, Jack
must be in double figures by now.
Yeah, he's too busy playing Blondie.
Too busy looking at Blondie tunes.
Yeah, I wonder what's coming next. I'm actually looking forward to it. Right, of course, it was a very busy transfer window, of course, but Scott, obviously a huge part of it was player power. We saw that specifically, I think, with the moves, of course, of Alexander Isak, which was the saga of the summer, but also with Johan Wissa, who managed to get his move to Newcastle. What were your thoughts on the way it all played out? And do you think that there has been a bit of a shift towards more player power? Or do you actually think, well, if you look back through history, this has happened before and there's not too much different?
Yeah, I asked David Moyes this question actually on Wednesday, and he said, by the way, I'm really interested in your opinion as a Newcastle fan, not just Alexander Isak, but Johan Wissa as well. And he said it's been going on for a long, long time. And he's right. It's just perhaps not, when you're talking about a British record, and it had been going on for a very long time, and Isak had been so out there that he was, broken, can't come back, not going to happen. And I look at Mark Guehi and, we all think in principle that everyone should act like Mark Guehi. And yet he's the one who didn't get his move and the other two did. So I'm not in any way condoning what they did, but it is quite ironic that Guehi clearly, and was having his medical, he was ready to go to Liverpool. I'm not having that he had second thoughts. I think that's just come from Crystal Palace, no more than that. Do you remember that game at Stamford Bridge where the game finished? And Oliver Glasner was on the pitch and he kind of called him over and Mark Guehi kind of mugged him off, really. And Glasner was like, why is he doing that? I think this has been going on for a good few weeks, but because he's such a good professional and a good guy, he absolutely was doing the right thing. Now, people can turn around and say, he can sign again in a year's time, and he absolutely can. And I let my contract run out a couple of times, and I was quite happy to do it. But there is a big risk. And I made my move to Benfica off the back of it, which I wouldn't have done. And I don't regret that as much as I would have loved to have stayed at Chelsea a little bit longer. But anyway, Mark Guehi, for me, could get a serious injury. And people throw that out. And people can say back, anybody can get injured at any particular time. Yeah, but not on Crystal Palace wages. It would be on Liverpool wages. And Liverpool in a year's time, or even at Christmas time, and I don't think Palace should sell at Christmas, might just say, do you know what? Actually, we're okay here. Konate's been brilliant. He signed a new contract. We're actually okay. Gomez isn't injured anymore. We might get another one. You just don't know. So, and he's missed out on potentially, unless he does go in January, they are the favourites to win the Premier League. The transfer window for them would have been amazing if they had have got Mark Guehi, and he might not now. Now, from Crystal Palace's point of view, I would not sell him. He can make sure they finished 4 or 5 places higher up the table, which is £3 million per place, and actually can carry on breaking history by winning a European trophy for the first time ever. Any Premier League side in the Europa Conference League should be one of the favourites coming from the Premier League,
especially with Glasgow's
track
record of
absolutely
the
as
Europa
well.
League.
So look, do I think it's the right thing what Isak and Vissa have done? Absolutely not. Yet they've got their move, and it's interesting that the Newcastle players seem to be pretty much endorsing it.
Yeah, well, let's have a listen to the Newcastle defender Dan Burn, who was asked about this in his England press conference yesterday. We spoke about his former teammate Alexander Isak and said he's finally glad to put the saga behind him.
I've been in football long enough now to understand that players have short careers. They've got things that they want to achieve and ambitions, and as a player and a professional, I understand that. Obviously, as a Newcastle fan, we're very passionate about the club and the city, and we think that nobody should want to leave and they can achieve that, but for me, I'm just sort of happy that it's done. I'm happy for Alex. He's a friend at the end of the day, and I don't think it was probably easy on him in the summer either. So I'm happy that he's sort of getting his move, and I'm happy that now we can move forward. But obviously be looking forward to the Liverpool game also.
As a Newcastle fan, I didn't mind that from Dan Burn. He was always going to be asked about that in the press conference. And what's he meant to say? You know, he can't just sit there and dig out his former teammate. But I thought the way he kind of addressed the frustration of the fans was good, and understanding it from their point of view as a Newcastle fan himself. The thing that I didn't like, because you mentioned that it was players, not just Dan Burn. Now, he can't help being asked that question in a press conference.
Just on Dan Burn, and you're right, and the fact he's a Newcastle fan, you can clearly see that, and I'll use in inverted commas, Alexander Isak is a good lad in the dressing room, and clearly was popular. And I think players do realise, it was interesting to hear Troy Deeney say that he wouldn't have been having him. You know, you've left us, you're trying to desert us. And Perry, who was just on before, but I heard him, I was on the Game Day Live with him last week, said he would have been fine with it. I'm more in Perry's camp, but I respect where Troy's coming from. But I do think Dan perhaps could have said, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame it had to get to that stage, but I wish him all the very best. I mean, what is he meant to say? It's a difficult one, but I know what you were about to say.
Yeah,
coming up with the other two.
Because the thing that I really didn't understand was Sven Botman and Anthony Gordon going out of their way to go on their own social media and wishing Isak well. Look, he's been your teammate, fine. I get that. And you heard it there from Dan Burn, wish him all the best, fine. Text him. You don't have to put it on social media. You know it's going to rile up fans. You know that it's going to frustrate them. It's going to make them question your intentions with the football club as well. Whether you're just doing it as a comment towards your mate who's moving on, it doesn't sit well. And just read the room. And I thought the weirdest thing was Sven Botman did it first, got a bad reaction from Newcastle fans, and then Anthony Gordon did it. Did he not look at the reaction Botman got and thought, maybe I shouldn't really do that? Maybe I shouldn't make it public. I think
he probably doesn't follow him.
My issue with it is, like I say, Dan Burn is in a press conference. He has to answer that question. They didn't have to do that. For me, it was just all a bit tone deaf.
I think when you said read the room, I think that's absolutely a perfect way of saying it and sums it up in a really concise way. It's just the modern day era that we live in right now, isn't it? It's society nowadays. You know, instead of telling your mate, do you want to go down a pub and have a beer, you're putting it out on X. You know, do you want to come and have a beer? I mean, really? I mean, exactly. It's like this has been going on for so long, and Alexander Isak was such a hero to do then what he did. I 100% understand where the Newcastle fans are coming from, and that's why I'm going to just pin you down as well to say, what about what Visser did then? But read the room. Send a text, a WhatsApp, whatever one you want. Send an email if you want to, but keep it private. I wish you all the best, mate. Have a good one. You know, I don't get it. And
it just unintentionally throws a bit of a grenade in, doesn't it? You just don't need to do that. And I'm sorry, but especially from Gordon's perspective, and he put his all into the half of a game he played against Liverpool, but just coming off the back of a red card, which was a bit silly. You know, when you're then doing that, and when you've been linked with a move to Liverpool as well, it just didn't sit that well with me. There has been another goal at the Emirates in the WSL. Charlotte Richardson.
Right on the stroke of half-time too. Arsenal 2, London City 1. And it's Chloe Kelly who nudges the home team ahead, turning this game around right before the break. Since equalising, Arsenal have been building pressure, and it looks like London City might hold off until the break. But it's a really, really fluid mood. The outstretched foot of Chloe Kelly getting the all-important touch to put the ball beyond the goalkeeper. It means that Arsenal look to take the lead at half-time. Arsenal 2, London City 1.
Arsenal back in front. Scott, you asked me there, what do I think about Johan Wisser, by the way? And I think this is the case for a lot of Newcastle fans. Well, I can't speak for all of them, of course, but I think when you've experienced what's gone on with Alexander Isak, there's a lot of fans going, well, you know, Wisser's now in black and white. You're going to get behind him. He's the new number 9.
So it's okay now?
No, but the way he's gone about it is not right. Not right at all. And I feel for Brentford fans because he's done exactly what Isak has done. Maybe was slightly more respectful in the way he talked about Brentford afterwards. I think, you know, Alexander Isak put out some chat GPT statement saying, thank you. Don't bother, mate. Don't bother with what you've done. And actually, to be fair, Brentford fans probably feel the same with Wisser. Yeah. But I would say that I don't feel happy with the way Wisser has gone about his move. But now he's a Newcastle player. You get behind him. Obviously, in the same way that Liverpool fans will with Isak. I'm sure a lot of them maybe don't feel great about what Isak's done to Newcastle. I'm not sure they care that much. But yeah, I would say I'm definitely in that camp. Not a fan.
But you still accept it. You still accept what he did to get to your club. And if you're that principled enough, you'd have said, no, I'm sorry, we didn't want our player to do that, so I don't want a player coming to my club to do that.
I think, though, and it's in the fee that Newcastle paid as well, way overpaid for him, I think, 55 million for Johan Wisser. I think it was... I'm not going to say desperation, but they needed a forward. They needed to get 2 forwards over the line. They got Voltemade. It would be too much pressure, especially in a Champions League campaign, to just have him up front. I think by the end of that window, in that late stage, they just needed a body through the door. And he is a proven Premier League striker as well.
I don't disagree with you. But then there's on-the-pitch stuff and then there's principled stuff. So, it is a fascinating one, isn't it? Absolutely, and I completely get it with Alexander Isak, don't send anything right now. If you're going to send anything, give it a year or two to the fans. But if you're that angry about that, then you shouldn't accept anyone coming in who's done similar into your club.
03717 22 33 44. We've just had a shout for that game in 2005, England against Holland. It was 0-0 at Villa Park. Hi, lads, says Albert in Croydon. Was Peter Shilton there? Not quite, Albert. Not quite. Bit late for him, I'm afraid.
He won 1 million caps, but no, I think he retired well before.
No one's got the England keeper yet, by the way. No one.
I said David James, no?
James was in the squad.
Was he?
James was in the squad. Well done, Scott Minto. Another one ticked off. We need 19 of these players, so keep them coming in. In just a moment, here on talkSPORT, though, we're going to give the EFL some love. Big day in Leagues 1 and 2. We're around the grounds previewing some of those games right after this. You having this one, Scotty?
A bit of Billy Ocean. Yeah. I like a bit of Billy Ocean. I've just given Jack some possible alternatives, so we'll see whether he...
You've gone in, you've read the riot act.
No.
Play some proper tunes, Jack.
Nah, Billy Ocean again.
Do you think, though, he could have picked a better Billy Ocean song, if you're being honest?
I don't think there's a bigger hit than Caribbean Queen. What are we thinking?
What about... There you go.
There we go.
There you go. That's good work from Jack.
Floor, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, big time.
You beers at a wedding. Mate, you don't even know the people who are getting married, but you just gate crash it.
Oh, yeah. I've never been invited to a wedding in my life, mate. By the way, we've got some news to bring you regarding the England game against Andorra a bit later on. Eberechi Eze, we understand, will be starting that game for England, which, I agree, is good to see, isn't it?
Big fan. Big fan from his QPR days when I was watching him on a regular basis, working on games in the Championship. And, a brilliant story as well with how many times he's been rejected, not just for footballers, young footballers, but also for people in life, about resilience and never giving up. So, fantastic player. I felt almost the nail in the coffin for Daniel Levy in terms of missing out on him, but I think he'd be a big positive for both Arsenal and England as well.
Yeah, could do very well.
And with that kind of 5-4-1 that will come up against the I don't want to say low block, but defending deep, he's the one who can open up the doors.
I'm glad you don't want to say low block.
I hate that phrase.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, we're on the same page with that one for sure. It's just parking the bus.
It's in my head all the time, and don't say it.
It's very LinkedIn, isn't it?
It's just almost as if like they're reinventing football.
There's been some good chats for the trivia, by the way. Before we chat a bit of EFL, we're looking for the players that played the last time England played at Villa Park. They played the Netherlands in a 0-0 draw. We want the ones that had some time in the Premier League. There's 19 of them. Some good shouts coming in. Jamie, the West Ham fan, says Kieran Dyer and David Bentley, maybe. David Bentley is wrong, but Kieran Dyer is correct. Mick, the West Ham fan, also had the shout of Kieran Dyer, so well done, because that's a bit of a rogue one. AD in Devon says Jermaine Genius, correct. He came on in the 82nd minute, so that's a brilliant shout there from AD. We've also had a shout, Wes Brown, also correct. So some of these ones are coming in now. They're coming in. Keep them all. They
haven't Googled, have they? Do you think they've Googled?
Joe, I trust the listeners.
Do you? Every single one.
Got good knowledge, haven't they? They're all right.
They got great knowledge, I have to say.
Yeah, they'll be all right. There has been a few lists that have come in where clearly it's a bit of a copy and paste of the... No, cheers, yeah.
No, I believe them.
I believe... of course we do. Keep them coming in on 8-10, 8-9. The League One game between Doncaster Rovers and Bradford City is on talkSPORT 2. Kick-off at 3 o'clock. Let's get the team news now with talkSPORT's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. The Yorkshire derby between two teams thriving in League One following promotion last year. Doncaster are 5th, 1 loss all season, 3 points off leaders Cardiff. But with the top two not in action today, unbeaten Bradford will go top with a win. Both sides make 2 changes from league wins last weekend. For Rovers, Grant McCann brings in Jay McGrath and Luke Molyneux as Tom Nixon and Glenn Middleton drop out. They go with Lo Tatala in goal, McGrath, O'Riordan, Pearson and Maxwell at the back. Bailey and Broadbent behind Molyneux, Clifton and Gibson, with Billy Sharp leading the line. Bradford have made a great start, unbeaten in 9 in all, including away cup wins at Championship sides Blackburn and Stoke. They make 2 changes. Anthony Sarcevic and Will Swan, who's got 5 in his last 7, replace Lapsley and Humphries, who dropped to the bench. It's Walker in goal, Baldwin, Joe Wright and Tilt at the back, Nerfville, Power, Lee and Torre across the middle, Sarcevic and Poynton behind Swan, who leads the line. At the Eco Power Stadium, we're live on talkSPORT 2, former Arsenal man Adrian Clark alongside me for Doncaster Rovers against Bradford City.
Mark, thanks very much. Yeah, you can download the talkSPORT app and swipe between the stations. It is live on talkSPORT 2, kick-off at 3. Billy Sharp.
39. We checked, didn't we? 39.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, what a goal scorer.
Oh, yeah.
And I played with Grant McCann, or he was a young lad at West Ham as well back in the day. So, you know, he's obviously made a great career of management. I mean, it's a long career, which is a difficult thing to do. So well done.
Yeah.
I also lived in Donny for a year when I was at Rotherham as well. A place called Bawtry, yeah.
Oh, no. Was it nice? Enjoy it?
Yeah, really nice. Really enjoyed it, yeah.
Oh, lovely. There we go. Billy Sharp's got more goals than anyone else in the top 4 leagues, by the way, so far.
Has he?
Yeah, 258 league goals.
That's a great stat.
Yeah, there you go. There's plenty of other action today, and our very own Ian Abrahams is out and about. He's at the Colchester Community Stadium for Colchester against Crewe in League 2. How you doing, Moose?
Yeah, good. Can I, if your quiz, if I'm right in thinking it's Sven in charge. I'm going to throw Chris Powell in there.
Chris Powell is incorrect, I'm
really?
afraid.
No, he definitely played.
No, Moose, you're thinking of the one at Villa Park where I mentioned to Ollie already. He nutmegged Pep Guardiola, so I think that was a few years earlier.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well,
Moose, I love it. You come straight on and just gone. No, you're wrong.
All right. Can I throw two songs I want to hear later in the afternoon? Then Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard, and a song which has been adopted as a football song, Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division.
Yeah,
two greats from the 80s.
Good song, to be fair. Jack's furiously writing those down as we speak. Moose, so
scribbling them out.
Team news quickly from here. Colchester unchanged from last Saturday. 9 changes from their win in midweek at Adams Park against Wickham. As for Crew, 2 changes from last week and 9 changes from their 7-1 hammering of Chesterfield in midweek, also in the EFL Trophy.
Just on a wider point as well, Moose, of course you're completely across the stories in the EFL. I tell you what, I was at Peterborough against Leyton Orient in the EFL Trophy on Tuesday night, and it has been an atrocious start to the season for Posh. Just 1 point in the league. They're out of the EFL Cup, and they've lost their first game as the holders, of course, of the EFL Trophy to Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient had 10 men for the majority of the game as well. And it doesn't get easier, does it? Because they're away at Huddersfield today.
Yeah, and listen, I think this is a prime example, and actually it's good you mentioned that, because Crew for years were seen as a development team. The amount of player, Danny Murphy, David Platt, Robbie Savage, Dean Ashton, the amount of players they brought through, they created as youngsters, and then they sold on. But you can only do that to a certain level for a certain amount of time. Peterborough have done it a lot in the last couple of years. Ronnie Edwards, Harrison Burrows, Ephraim Mason-Clark, Kwame Potku went in the summer as well. So many good players have gone. You cannot just keep replacing like for like. And I think at some stage you're going to come unstuck. And I wonder if, and I don't say this with any joy because Adrian's a good friend of mine, whether Adrian Durham's side might really become unstuck this season. I mean, whenever I see Barry Fry, he's always chipper and always insisting that they know that the price and the value of their players, but sometimes you just need to hang on to them, because if you let too many go, and they've let a few go over the last 2 or 3 years, in the end you just cannot keep replenishing them.
Moose, can I go League Two?
Yeah.
And I want to touch on my local club, Bromley, which, I mean, they've all done so well down there, Andy Woodman in particular, but everybody connected with the club. I remember playing years and years and years and years and years ago, and there must have been a 7th or 8th tier side, and we were playing in a district cup final. So for them to be in the EFL is sensational. That is some game against Gillingham, who are top of the table, isn't it?
The only 2 unbeaten sides left in League Two. Gillingham top, not lost a game since Gareth Ainsworth went in there back end of last season. Bromley, 2 years ago, I went to a game at Hayes Lane, which they eventually lost, actually, despite leading 2-0 to Aldershot. They lost 3-2. And I was shown around, this is when they were in the National League, I was shown around all of what was already at Hayes Lane, and it was incredible, the facilities that were there and what they had ready. And just before the playoff final against Solihull Moors that they won, I was chatting to the CEO, and he was saying to me, we win on Saturday, Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, the pitch comes up, because it was an artificial pitch, and a new one goes down. And I said, well, where are you going to put the pitch? Are we going to put that over, behind one of the stands? Anyway, all sorted. They won 9 o'clock the following day. The work started, and they went into the EFL last year. Michael Cheek was the League Two Player of the Year. He's a striker. Never played in the EFL before. Banged in goals left, right and centre like he'd been doing it all his life. And he's carried on this year. And like you say, I think the management of Andy Woodman, they lost their assistant manager, Alan Dunn, in the summer. He decided he wanted to take a little break, the legend, the Millwall legend. And it hasn't affected them one little bit. And as I say, today, the only 2 sides left in League Two are unbeaten. It's 5:30 at Hayes Lane. It's an unbelievable game of football. But this is an unbelievable league, because by that stage, Gillingham, who are top, could be usurped by Chesterfield, who go to Walsall, and if Chesterfield lose, then Walsall could go top, or Crew, who play here against Colchester, who haven't won at home yet this season but have been doing well under the Cowleys in general, and Swindon could also usurp them all if they win at Barrow. It's a really tight division, League Two, and at the bottom there are 4 sides without a win yet this season. 2 of them meet at Warden Road in Cheltenham and Altrincham. Shrewsbury go to Barnet, who picked up in the last couple of weeks under Dean Brennan, and Crawley, relegated last season without a win so far this season. They're at Harrogate. But no, I love the football in the EFL. I love the competitiveness of it, and I think it's shown every year, especially in League Two. But you're right, absolutely right, to highlight the brilliant work done at Bromley.
Moose, thanks very much indeed. What was it? Put some sugar on me. It should be. Is there a
Pour some sugar on me by Def Leppard.
Okay.
And Joy Division. Their song, which I think Manchester United in the end really took on with Ryan Giggs. Giggs will tear us apart.
Is there a Moose remix of "Pour Some Tuna on Me" or something? I know you're a big
Pour
fan.
some sugar on me.
All right, fade him down, please. Yeah, good stuff.
I hope he's never said that to anyone.
Yeah, please. Anyway, remember, we'll have a full classified check of the halftime scores in all of those EFL 3 o'clocks. And Adrian Durham picks up from Villa Park after 4 o'clock for the England game. He might be in a bit of a bad mood if his posh get another thumping, by the way. But
and can I just say as well, Paul Warne, manager of MK Dons, actually just sneaking in there. They're 7th at the moment. A couple of players back. They've had a good window. I expect them to kick on.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Could be big things for them this season. Absolutely. Right, in just a moment here on talkSPORT, we're going to chat to our Scotland correspondent, David Tanner, after last night's World Cup qualifying draw out in Denmark for the Tartan Army. You know what this is? Is this DJ Scotty, by the way?
No.
This is one of your
Oh,
shows.
yes. Sorry, it's me. I did, yeah.
No, I
Yeah. So when I quickly powder my nose, I went to Jack. I said, look, here's half a dozen songs. So he's chosen this one first.
You legend. And it's gone up a notch, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
This is just
gone up a notch.
Classic.
Turn it up, Jack. Go on. Can you imagine you, Scott Minto, with some flared trousers?
I'm not that
Saturday Night Fever.
No, that was 70s.
What were you then? Big hair?
No, I was 80s, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, great tunes.
Leg warmers?
Great No. No, very, very just basic. No, not into all those type of styles, but great tune. Last night a DJ saved my life.
Absolutely. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside King of the 80s, Scott Minto, former Chelsea fullback. Right, the shouts for this England-Netherlands game back in 2005 are flying in. And earlier I said no one's got the keeper yet for England, but they have now. Darren, you've got it right. Matt Funnell, you've got it right as well from Kent. The England goalkeeper was Paul Robinson.
Very good, yeah.
A few people saying maybe that it was Richard Wright or Ben Foster, but no, Paul Robinson in that era. Few people saying Jamie Carragher. That's also correct as well. So that back line for England is looking pretty good. We've had Ashley Cole, we've had Wes Brown. So there's a right back missing at the moment. There's a couple of subs as well that we need to get, but I believe you've had a...
Gary Neville would have been one, wouldn't he?
Correct, Scott Minto.
Okay. Yeah, Aidan McGee, broadcaster, has texted me as well. He said, haven't looked this up. I believe him, but clearly he felt he needed to say that. But Andy Johnson made his debut for England in that game at Villa. I was covering Palace at the time.
There we go. He's absolutely right. Yeah. Came on the hour mark, Andy Johnson.
Did he?
Good shout there from Aidan, who definitely didn't look it up. Do you know what's quite interesting? We've had quite a few people saying, I was at the game, but only messaging in one name, which I find quite funny. Yeah.
Maybe they feel they're only allowed to.
Yeah, it was a while ago, to be fair. Keep those coming in. We'll go through all the ones that you've got so far as well. And yeah, try and think outside the box a bit for the Dutch players, because there's a few in there, a few Barclaysmen, I would say, that are in there that you can try and get, and we'll keep you across those. Right, last night in their World Cup qualifier, Scotland were out in Denmark. They battled to a 0-0 draw. Let's bring in David Tanner, talkSPORT Scottish football correspondent. David, does it go down as a pretty decent result for the Tartan Army?
Yeah, without a doubt, given that Scotland were so poor in June when they lost heavily at home to Iceland in a friendly, and before that they collapsed at home to Greece in the Nations League playoff. Going to Denmark, the top-rated side in the group, they really had to make an impact in this abbreviated small group of 4 teams that will be finished in the middle of November. It's a rapid-fire group, so no margin for error. So going there and getting the point is terrific. I have to be honest with you, in the cold light of day, I think Scotland should have won it. So I have got a little tinge of disappointment. Scott McTominay had a terrific chance. Lyndon Dykes was put through by Shea Adams and should have, at the very least, worked Kasper Schmeichel, but didn't. Get stuck under the ball. His first touch let him down. There were chances for John McGinn and Ryan Christie and a couple as well. So, Steve Clarke is a notoriously cautious manager, but he had 2 up front last night for the first time that I can remember in his tenure as Scotland manager. So he had at least had a crack at it last night, and it was certainly they were able to get out after a really difficult start to the game. So obviously we're delighted with the point, but I think they could have got 3.
Well, David, you say that, and does it make it even better than the performance that you come away thinking we could have been even better when you think that 7 of the 11 who started in Denmark have mostly been subs for their clubs? You know, Gunnar Ferguson hadn't played this season. Andy Robertson only won Premier League sub appearance as well. So to have that and yet to come away thinking, actually, it could have been even better, that's an even better performance then, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think that's something that Steve Clarke has had to manage before, but not in so many numbers. Players have not been getting games. So I think that, for me, was terrific. Angus Gunnar was delighted for him. He had a terrific performance in goal. He not only stopped a number of big opportunities, he held them as well. He was in really terrific form. The 2 centre-backs in front of him, John Souttar of Rangers and Grant Hanley in particular, put their bodies in the line so many times. And it was great having Aaron Hickey back at right back after 2 years out injured, because they've really missed his presence at that side. There's never been any difficulty on the left. Rather, Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney have been terrific at left back, but I think they gave it a bit more balance. And as I say, the whole performance was terrific for Scotland. So in these tournaments, Scotland to qualify have got to win all their home games and then nick something when they're abroad. And they've done that last night, getting that point, as I say, against a terrific Denmark team. A team without Eriksson in it, which was I think the manager will look back on that as being a mistake. Having scored in his last 3 games for Denmark, not of course got a club at all at the moment after leaving Manchester United, but Scotland will take that as a bit of fortune, and I think a mistake with the Danish coach and not having him in the side. So a lot of things went for Scotland last night, but I think if we just a little bit of quality in the final third, and we do lack that, we could have, and I think should have won the game.
Yeah, they're up against Belarus next away on Monday night as well. David, you mentioned there, obviously, if they are going to qualify, it's a competitive group, isn't it? You know, you've got Greece in there too, alongside Denmark and Belarus. You feel like they're going to have to target that game on Monday, try and get something out of that and potentially come away with the 3 points in order to put themselves in a really good position to qualify.
Yeah, the Greeks hit 5 past Belarus last night. Of course, Belarus, because of their nation's involvement in the Russian-Ukraine war, are playing their games in neutral territory in Hungary. The game will be played behind closed doors. John McGinn made a good point last night, and Scotland did pretty well during the COVID lockdown period behind closed doors. So that maybe gives them an additional edge. So everything is going for Scotland in that sense, that they've got an away game against a team which is also on 1 year long. So I think they should win that one, and they have to win that one if they're going to have a real chance of qualifying from this group. The Greeks, Scotland, of course, played them in the Nations League playoff earlier this year. We won in Athens, but then contrived to get battered at Hampden Park. So we know that they'll be difficult. So that means that Belarus is therefore a must-win, home and away.
David, thank you very much indeed. David Tennant there, talkSPORT's Scottish football correspondent. We've had another few messages coming in for this England-Netherlands game back in 2005. It was the last time they played at Villa Park. Keep these shouts coming in.
Must be close to 19 now, surely.
Well, yeah, we must be, because this texter has said Ashley Young and Stuart Downing as subs. Ashley Young wasn't, but Stuart Downing was. We're getting to the rogue end, aren't we?
We are.
There's a few Dutch players that still need to be got. Some names where you'll go, oh, yeah, of course. Or you'll go, oh, I really recognise that name, but they haven't come in quite yet. We've had some interesting shouts too. Someone has said Nobby Solano. He's Peruvian, so that's a no. Cheers for that one. Also, someone said Nat Lofthouse. Bit late for him, I think, 2005, I'm afraid.
He may well have played against the Netherlands, but yeah, not
that year, no. I'm afraid. Let's get a quick update from the WSL game at the Emirates. It's Arsenal against London City Lionesses. Here's Charlotte Richardson.
It's Arsenal 2, London City Lionesses 1. No second half goals, but the Gunners have come close to extending their advantage. Victoria Pelova firing over the crossbar after making some space for herself inside the box from a really good angle as well. The host with a flurry of corners didn't make them count. Katie McCabe's looping header just off target. Arsenal 2, London City Lionesses 1.
Thanks, Charlotte. Just quickly, a lot of people saying Dirk Kuyt, by the way, which should really make sense. But he didn't play in that game.
I mentioned him as well, didn't I?
Yeah, he did. He did. Are you sure? I've got the game in front. Yeah, Dirk Kuyt. Is he? I don't think he is, mate. All right, we're going to sort this out in the break. I've just been told, mate, that he did play. I don't think he did. We'll have a steward's inquiry during the break. Oh, it's controversial, isn't it?
Very.
On talkSPORT, it never stops.
Also, we'll have an unscheduled break to argue it out. We're going to have an arm wrestle over it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, who's going to win that?
Can't possibly answer that one.
We also want you to get involved, though, in just a moment, because after the break, we're going to be talking about disallowed goals. Which has been your favourite overtime, or at least your most memorable? You can give us a call, 03717 22 33 or you can text us on 81089. This is talkSPORT.
some sugar on me.
Def Leppard featuring Ian Abraham.
I didn't think I'd ever hear that.
Oh my word! I don't think that can ever see the light of day ever again.
My goodness.
Good tune though, to be fair to Moose.
Well, it was.
Yeah, yeah. It was before that. Good stuff. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Scott Minto. Right. Some brilliant shouts have come in for this England-Netherlands game back in 2005. It's the last time England played at Villa Park. We've been asking you to name the 19 players that at some point played in the Premier League. This is both for England and for the Netherlands as well. Now, I said to people, you've got to start thinking a bit roguer. Anthony says Melchiot. Correct. He's on the bench. Mario Melchiot for the Netherlands. Jan Kromkamp. Shout of the day so far, I think, from Tucker. Correct. He started at right back. So,
Belarus.
Yeah. So as I look across this list, so we've now had, if I go through it quickly, Paul Robinson, Gary Neville, Wes Brown, Carragher, and Cole. So we've got the England defensive line that started. We've had Lampard and Gerrard. We've had Rooney and Owen. So there's two members of that starting 11 that people haven't got yet. And by the way, one is astonishing that people haven't said. It really is astonishing. So if that gives you a clue. There were two keepers on the bench for England. One's been said, David James.
Okay.
So there's another keeper that people need to get that hasn't been said yet. There's a couple of defenders. There's a midfielder. This is all on the bench for England. A winger and a striker. So get thinking on those. And
ticked off Andy Johnson, haven't you?
I have ticked off Andy Johnson. Yes, indeed, from your mate,
from Aiden.
And then for the Netherlands, we're nearly there. You know, we are nearly there. There's a midfielder. By the way, I was wrong about Dirk Kuyt. It was the Dutch spelling.
Right. I'm going to defend you here. How was it spelled?
It was Kuyt, and that really threw me. I just thought,
actually, it's not that dissimilar.
Yeah. Cheers, Scott. Yeah, thanks.
Completely fluent in Dutch.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. But for the Netherlands, there's a midfielder, two midfielders that you need to get. You've done well with the Dutch shouts, to be fair. So keep them coming in on 8 and 89 because we need to do it before we cross to the team.
Well, we're
at
not
Villa Park.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're not going to cross until we've got them.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Faye set us this challenge.
We're going to have to put the game on hold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to delay kickoff of England and Andorra until we get this all right. Now, I want to chat to you, Scott, about disallowed goals because I don't know if you've seen this. Obviously, you've seen your Chelsea last week. They had a goal for Fulham that was disallowed. Josh King, very, very controversial because didn't really look like a foul, did it? I'm sure that even you can admit that. And what's happened is...
What do you mean by that?
Oh, come on.
Listen, I was working for Chelsea TV at the time, so you can be as biased as you want, but... Honestly, even I had to say that's a disgraceful decision. You don't understand football if it wasn't even a challenge, let alone a careless one.
No, there was no real physicality involved at all. And so what Fulham have done is they've put Josh King's goal in their goal of the month. So the Fulham fans can vote for it.
From their point of view.
Do you know what I love? If he does win that, is he just going to frame his apology for GMOL? So it got us thinking about, the most memorable disallowed goals or your kind of favourite disallowed goals. One of my ones as a Newcastle fan has to be Czech Tiote against Manchester City back in 2014, which was ruled out for offside. Take a listen.
By delivers in towards Williamson. Almost Younger and Beaver got there. Comes back to Tiote.
What a goal!
Oh yes! What a finish from Czech Tiote. The last time he scored for Newcastle United, it was an equaliser against Arsenal, and it was just like that. And it was a smacker of a goal through a crowd of players, and it goes into the net. But hold on, as the Newcastle players celebrate over on the far side, the assistant is talking to the referee, and they may not be giving this just yet.
Oh, well, I tell you what, they've given offside as well. I mean, what a shame, Sam. We are right behind that ball there, and Tiote, he won't hit a better one than that. He really won't. I mean, it was an absolutely wonderful strike.
Sorry, if you've got a former Sunderland player, Mickey Gray, saying, what a shame. He's absolutely right. It should never have been ruled out as well. Johan Gouffran, it was judged that he was in front of the goalkeeper, and he wasn't. It should have stood. It's such a shame. But I think what is kind of nice is it means the only goal Tiote scored for Newcastle is that equaliser, which is so iconic against Arsenal as well. I still love that one. It was a better goal as well. It was an absolute blinder. What about you?
So, do you remember I've got a couple actually. Do you remember the ghost goal of Pedro Mendes for Spurs against Man U, where even afterwards Sir Alex Ferguson said something's got to be done with this? Where Roy Carroll, I mean, it was a great sort of whip, but it went so high that he was able to get back, and he just sort of fumbled the catch. It went behind him. It was a yard over.
Yeah, nightmare moment.
And yet the linesman at the time couldn't even see it. So when you've even got Sir Alex Ferguson said something's got to be done, then something's wrong. But I had a little think about this, right? And I had a look on the internet as well. So I semi-cheated in a way. But I saw a goal from someone who was a former teammate of mine. Now, I wasn't involved in this game. I didn't play for this club. But it was a massive, massive game. It was the Merseyside derby. Now, Don Hutchinson played for both clubs, but he was playing for Everton here, and it was 0-0 going into literally seconds left. I can't even remember who the goalkeeper is now, but he puts the ball down. And, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I spoke to Don last night.
Yeah.
This is what he came back with.
Hey, guys, it's 4:00 in the morning, and I'm still having nightmares about Graham Powell. Picture the scene. 27 years ago at Goodison, Merseyside derby, Sander Westerveld takes a free kick with 20 seconds left on the clock. It hits me on the backside and trickles towards the goal line. As it does, he panics, blows his whistle for full time, and then realised when he looked at the clock, there was a good 15 seconds or so left on the clock at Goodison. The fans, the players went wild, and then he later admitted in his book that it was a mistake. So all is forgiven, but I'm still not asleep, and it's 4:00 in the morning, 27 years later. Thanks, Graham.
Still awake.
Do you know what?
Still keeping him awake.
Hutch is such a great lad. He's a really, really good lad off the pitches, and obviously had a very good career indeed. Brilliant. As soon as I said to him, listen, leave a little message if you can. Make sure it's broadcastable, and we'll have a word with Sim Producer, see if we can put it on there. And if anyone hasn't seen it, I'd forgotten about it, to be honest with you. So I googled it and had a look. It is an absolute joke. I said it's the best goal you've ever scored, and he didn't even know anything about it. The biggest backside almost in football.
Oh, is that worse from Graham Powell than the 3 yellow cards, do you think?
Good question. I had a little dig at him one time. I was working in the World Cup, and he was one of the guests. And I can't remember what he said now. He said something about a referee's decision. I said, yeah, but it's not 3 yellow cards.
Oh, but that went down well. Finally, of course, you almost can't not mention this, especially as it's an international break as well. Frank Lampard against Germany. I mean, that felt like the moment, the side indoors moment, if you want, where goal line technology eventually came in. And of course, it is an iconic talkSPORT moment as well. Who can forget Mark Saggers and his famous rant about that disallowed goal against Germany during the 2010 World Cup?
England's troubles started a long, long time before this tournament with this particular side, and we have not shown. I know that you think Germany are poor. England were terrible. Germany are not a bad side. They're a side.
Mark, you're missing the point, Mark. You're missing the point.
I'm not missing the point at all.
All you're doing is repeating what I've just said. England
I'm not missing the point.
Well, let me finish.
I'm not missing the point. You can't start. Nobody walks goals in at World Cups. Get real, Adrian. You've got to get real. The FA have got to get real. England have got to get real. And if you don't get real and you don't tell people to get real, that is half the problem we have in this country. Being real with England.
I tell you what. There's an even better clip than that on the way.
That was the calmer version, wasn't it?
The calmer version. There's an even better clip than that on the way, I promise you, of Mark in real time reacting to that moment from Lampard. We will bring you that. But get yours in. You can give us a call as well, 03717 22 3344. Which ones are just lodged in your mind? I said favourite ones, but they're probably not your favourite ones. They're probably really frustrating moments. You can text us on 81089 as well. This is talkSPORT. Absolute banger. This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. This is a Scott Minto choice, the former Chelsea fullback. But he's not quite in the studio yet. He's just right. Scott, your song's playing, and you're not ready yet. Have you just been out Googling that game?
No,
I bet you have.
Not.
I bet you have.
No. I had to call home. No one needs to know what.
Okay.
What a tune.
What a tune.
Earth and Fire.
Oh, my word.
Amazing.
Good shout.
I defy anyone when they hear it to not at least want to get up and dance to that.
What kind of shapes are you throwing back? You're a good dancer. I bet you are.
Not really.
Not really means that's a modest answer.
No, I'd probably be accused of being a dad dancer now, but that's by my kids, you know.
Well, a bit of the sprinkler coming out. Any moonwalking?
No, less is more. So just very, very, a little bit of movement and nothing
good stuff. Plenty still to come before 4 o'clock, where we're crossing to Villa Park ahead of the England game against Andorra. In a moment, we're going to be discussing Michael Owen, who's had some comments about how good he was as a teenager and compared himself to Wayne Rooney. Well, Scott Minto played against both of them when they were teenagers, so he is going to give the definitive answer as to who was better. There's been a lot of talk about that this week. Plenty going on in the EFL as well. Ian Abrahams is out and about watching Colchester against Crewe. Ian Abrahams, how's it looking?
And we played 6 minutes, still Colchester 0, Crewe 0. The only real chance on goal was a free kick for Colchester, 25 yards out, just left the centre, rolled to Arthur Reed. His shot, though, was pretty easily well saved in the end, though, by the goalkeeper, the Crewe goalkeeper. Although Aurora Redmonds is coming down the right-hand side now, gets it into the middle, and it's cleared away. A couple of important goals have gone in, though. Swindon League 1-0 at Barrow, and at the bottom, Accrington Trail 1-0 at Cheltenham. Both those sides searching for their first win of the season. But here, it's Colchester 0, Crewe 0.
Moose, thanks very much indeed. Doncaster against Bradford in League One is live over on talkSPORT 2. That has just kicked off, so you can swipe between the stations if you do want to give that a listen. In the WSL, London City Lionesses are giving Arsenal a game at the Emirates. How's it looking, Charlotte Richardson?
It's Arsenal 2, London City Lionesses 1. The Gunners in full control here. One-way traffic towards the visitors' goal, but London City defending resolutely, bodies on the line when required. They're just finding a route of relief really limited despite centre-forward Izzy Goodwin's best efforts down the other end. Arsenal have just made a double change, bringing on Stina Black-Stenius and Beth Mead. It's 15 minutes to go. Arsenal 2, London City 1.
The dad dancing is in full swing here. It's the Saturday session on talkSPORT. Right, Scott, before we get into Michael, there's an abrupt end to the song. Jack's had enough. He's had enough. I'm sick of Scott's
as well.
choices.
No, he loves it. We've got similar taste.
Oh, good stuff. Before we get into the Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney debate, we have been asking listeners, and we've only got an hour now. Less than an hour to get all of these. The last time England played at Villa Park, it was a 0-0 draw with the Netherlands back in 2005. We've been asking you for the 19 players who had some time in the Premier League for both England and for the Netherlands. We are getting closer. Now, I said, didn't I, that one of the England players that no one seemed to have mentioned yet, and it was a glaring thing. That has now been covered because plenty of people have come in on 8, 10, 89 and said David Beckham, the captain, of course. Of course, he was in that team. Michael Owen, of course, was in that team as well. So that means, because other people have also said, including Graham and Mick as well, Sean Wright-Phillips, also correct. He started on the right-hand side. So that means we have the full England starting 11 now.
Okay, great.
I also said there was another goalkeeper. Plenty of people have come through, including Adam in Norwich, to say Rob Green was the other goalkeeper. Absolutely right. So that means at the moment for England, we are missing 5 players. So you've got a couple of defenders, you've got a midfielder, you've got a winger, and you've got a striker to try and get.
Come on, guys and girls.
Come on.
50 minutes.
We need this. And we
Otherwise, the England game's going to be put back.
Yeah, it is. You're delaying the England game. It's all down to you. We are also missing a midfielder for the Netherlands who spent a bit of time in the Premier League, and another midfielder as well. Actually, I feel like one of these for the Dutch team, it's going to be the tricky one. One of these going to be. It's a name that you'll all know. You go, oh yeah, okay. But we haven't had that shout yet. So keep them coming in on 8, 10, 89. We are nearly there. You've got the full England starting 11. You've got all the starters from the Dutch team. We're just after some of those substitutes. So keep them coming in, and also keep the text coming in for disallowed goals as well, which we were talking about before the break. We've got a text here from Aaron. Paul Scholes, disallowed goal, March 2004, first leg, Manchester United against Porto. That's the one that Aaron remembers, incorrectly disallowed for offside. If that counted, what would have happened to Mourinho? Good shout as well.
Moment.
Yeah, because Porto, of course, would have not gone on, rather, maybe, to win the Champions League as well. Best disallowed goal ever, says Paul the Saints fan, Kevin Keegan's overhead kick, Southampton against Manchester United in 1982. David Armstrong was allegedly offside. I love that. You just never forget, do you?
No,
never
definitely.
forget.
I've got 2 more, and they're both the same type of goal as well. Thierry Henry against Blackburn and George Best against England.
Oh, really?
Where the keepers, I mean, with the George Best one, it was Gordon Banks. So they're just about to throw the ball out, or they do throw the ball in the air to kick it. They get their foot in, nick it off them. George Best one is brilliant if you haven't seen it. It's so clever. And
rightly disallowed?
I think they say it's still seen as within the space. Did they change the rules after one of them, or just to make sure that you're not allowed to do something like that? I don't
all because of George Best. There we go.
There's a lot of things that were changed because of George Best.
By the way, we heard a bit of a rant from the legend that is Mark Saggers about that Lampard.
Have we got the other one?
Oh, we have the other one. Let's have a listen to this iconic rant in real time from Mark Saggers when Frank Lampard's ghost goal occurred against Germany in 2010.
Come on! Come on! Yes! Yes! It's a goal! It's a goal! It's a goal! It's goal! It's a 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 goal! Oh! Miles over the line!
Do you think he thought it was a goal?
How many goals did Frank score there?
It is just brilliant.
Because he wasn't on air at the time, was he?
No, he wasn't. Yeah, that's funny. He wasn't actually on air. It was just being recorded, and yeah, there we go.
Brilliant. Well, that
didn't
was
sit on the fence.
Yeah, no. That was an absolute defining moment because Sepp Blatter, up until that moment, said, "No, we don't need technology."
He was at the game as well, Blatter.
Yeah.
Oh.
And after that goal line,
what could have happened, eh? At 2-2, we would have won that World Cup.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe not. By the way, Tucker, you've come through with an excellent shout. Tucker's been on fire, by the way.
What's he said?
Danny Lanzat That was the player we were looking for.
Wow,
He started in
we've not got
midfield. Well done.
Actually, Nigel Adderley, just obviously talkSPORT commentator, just texted me as well. He said, I was at that game at Villa Park 20 years ago. Can't remember anything about it, but I did interview Frank Lampard afterwards.
Ah, there we go. Cheers for that.
Cheers,
one,
Nigel.
Yeah. Rogue shout from Nigel there. Who was at the game?
Give us one, Nigel. Come on, have a think. We've still got a few left.
Brilliant. Before we chat about Michael Owen, there has been another goal at the Emirates in the WSL. Charlotte Richardson.
Arsenal 3, London City Lionesses 1. Substitute Stina Black-Stenius poking the ball home after some really good work down the right-hand side. The changes that the Gunners have made have really, really strengthened them into these late phases. They've been pushed all the way by London City Lionesses, but as we head towards the final few minutes of match day 1 here at the Emirates, the home team have a 2-goal cushion. Arsenal 3, London City Lionesses 1.
Yeah, it feels like Arsenal have wrapped up the points there. The London City Lionesses did lead in that game, but now 7 minutes to go. Arsenal with a comfortable 3-1 lead. Now, I've been mentioning, Scott, this Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney debate that Michael Owen himself has weighed in on. There was debate going around as to who was better when they were teenagers, when they were kind of at the age of 17 and 18. I mean, Rooney was 16 as well, wasn't he? When he was kind of bursting onto the scene, if you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a
yeah. He did burst onto the scene, Micah.
Yeah. There was a tweet that was put out that said, who was better at the age of 17, Michael Owen or Wayne Rooney? And Michael Owen decided to reply to it himself. He said, at 17, I scored 18 Premier League goals, winning the Golden Boot. Wazza scored 6. At 18, I again scored 18 goals, again winning the Golden Boot and coming 4th in the Ballon d'Or. Wazza scored 9. In our opening 7 seasons, Wazza didn't outscore me once, 117 goals against 80, in which time I became the second youngest Ballon d'Or winner ever. Injuries hindered me from then on while he sustained his level. Therefore, he'll go down as a better player than me. But at 17, please. That's Michael Owen weighing in on that debate himself. What do you make of it? You played against both of them as well at that age.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, Wayne Rooney came on as a 16-year-old and we must have been on the pitch for no more than 20 minutes together. And yeah, I mean, look, where do I go with this? Because I've got the utmost respect for Michael Owen. I mean, I've said on several occasions, even recently when we've talked about Arsenal needing a goal scorer, I said, and the example I use is played against Michael Owen. We played really well at Anfield. He had probably 5 touches of the ball. 2 of them went in the back of the net. We're on the coach on the way home thinking, what the heck happened there? That's what a world-class striker can do. But first of all, why are you getting involved? Michael, honestly, you don't need to. You really don't need to. You're better than that. Let everybody have their own arguments. You've got your decision made in your own mind, and rightly so. And Wayne Rooney will be thinking the opposite as well. And it's obviously a very, not just subjective, but tribalistic thing. I'm sure Liverpool fans will think one thing, United fans will think another. But look, what I would say is, in my personal opinion, that Michael Owen, while he was a true world-class goal scorer, I think Wayne Rooney's one of the greatest players this country has ever produced. And I'm still not sure we fully appreciate just how good he was. Because he wasn't just the number 9. Alan Shearer is one of the greatest strikers, Gary Lineker, one of the greatest strikers. But Wayne Rooney was actually much more than that. He could have been a 10. He played out wide when Ronaldo was playing up front. He even played as a 6 for England. He was that good a footballer that he could play almost anywhere. So, Michael, don't get involved in the argument. You don't need to. Your stats stand up for themselves. You've been an amazing player. And you're right, cruelly, your career was cut short, really, or certainly we only saw 40% of you, 30% of you because of the hamstring injuries. But don't get involved in that.
Just didn't really.
If I have to give a decision, as good as you were, Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, as I've said, is one of the greatest players we've ever produced.
Well, there we go. You can get involved as well on that on 81089 or give us a call. I do agree. I mean, just let everyone else decide. Let us debate it here on talkSPORT. And unfortunately for Michael Owen, maybe he's just trying to state his case. But he
doesn't need to, mate.
I feel like
I'm waiting for Wayne Rooney's now.
Yeah.
His response.
Yeah, oh yeah.
See when that
Can't
comes.
wait for that. Yeah, do you reckon he's just got a list of stats as well to come back? Or he's just going to go, no, I was better.
Or just, no, you're right, Michael. Yeah.
There has been another goal at the Emirates, and the Lionesses back in it. Charlotte Richardson?
It's gone the other way. It's Arsenal 4, London City Lionesses 1. 2 goals in the space of a minute. In fact, and I mentioned to you guys earlier on how the Gunners bench was really helping strengthen their cause. And it is another substitute late on, punishing some tired London City Lionesses defenders. A simple finish from Frida Mornham, the European champions, really showing their class, but also their WSL know-how. Arsenal 4, London City Lionesses 1.
Yeah, 3 points heading for Arsenal. Graham, you're an absolute legend. He has come through pretty late doors with some great shouts, 2 great shouts.
Kick-off still on at 5 o'clock for England.
Oh, come on, kick-off at the moment is still 5 o'clock. We're looking for these 19 players, and Graham, you've come through with 2 belters. Owen Hargreaves, correct, was on the bench, and Glenn Johnson, also correct. We're looking for one more Dutch midfielder, by the way. A couple of shouts coming in. A lot of people saying Edgar Davids, incorrect. Philip Koku, incorrect as well. You will know this player. You definitely will know this player.
Not Van Bommel.
Played for some big clubs. Van Bommel was there. Did he play in the Prem?
Oh, maybe he didn't. Yeah.
You just pulling them out of everyone.
No, because I was listening to him the other day on talkSPORT.
We've got an extra one there from Scott Minto. The England game's still being delayed, mate. So cheers for that. But yeah, we're looking for one more. And I will have to give a big clue a bit later on if we still haven't got it. In terms of England...
This has been going on for so long, I forgot what the question was.
The question is, by the way, if you have just tuned in, 2005 was the last time England played at Villa Park. We're looking for the side that played against the Netherlands. It was a 0-0 draw. The 19 players for both England and the Netherlands that had some Premier League playing time. So keep the shouts coming in. We need a defender for England. We need a winger for England. We need a striker for England and a midfielder for the Dutch. Please help us out. 81089 on the text. turn you up again.
It's your karaoke song.
Oh, shouldn't it with that voice?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, this is another Ian Abrahams.
Is it?
Now. Luckily, there's none of his singing on this.
I want more of your impersonations. Have that?
Really? I tell you what, we'll save some up. I'll have a chat with you and we can decide on this.
Okay, cool.
By the way, Graham might be single-handedly keeping the England game on.
Go on, Graham.
He said Joe Cole is absolutely right.
Joey Cole, how do we not?
Well done, Graham. By the way, this is the Saturday session with me, Olly Clink, alongside Scott Minto. And I asked for a Dutch midfielder, Lewis, in Sunny Rill. Love this. He's gone, only just tuned in. Sorry if it's been said. Nigel de Jong. It hasn't been said yet, Lewis. Well done. Absolutely
Lewis,
right. Well done.
Why are you only just tuning in?
Straight in there from Lewis. So the Dutch players are done. And we have also had a texter, I believe, that has said Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely right.
Great shout.
So that means we are missing one player. One player.
You have got 35 minutes?
35 minutes to go. And we need an England defender who is on the bench. And I don't think I've told you this one either.
You haven't,
Scott. So listen, keep your guesses.
I mean, I can join in.
But absolutely, yeah. Okay. Just have a think about it. And keep them coming in on 81089. We need one England defender. This is from a game at Villa Park. The last time England played at Villa Park back in 2005 against the Netherlands. We were looking for the 19 players who played for England and the Netherlands, who spent a bit of time in the Premier League. By the way, former Burnley and Everton manager Sean Dyche is back on talkSPORT for 3 whole hours tomorrow alongside Johnny Owen. You won't want to miss that. Tune in for Sean's take on player power, Daniel Levy's shock exit from Spurs, and whether he is keen to get back in the dugout soon. Plus, there's an exclusive chat with the only man to lead Wales to a World Cup since 1958, now head coach of the Liverpool under-21s, Rob Page. That's Johnny Owen and Sean Dyche this Sunday from midday on talkSPORT. Just on Sean Dyche, can you see him? I mean, I've said there, we're going to find out from the man himself tomorrow whether he is keen to get back in the dugout. Do you think that is a possibility this season if a club decides to go down a different route?
I think there's every chance. I think Sean Dyche is not given the credit that he deserves. The job that he's done at the clubs that he's had have all been almost punching above their weight or trying to. And look, you have to say the job that the impact that David Moyes coming in at Everton is absolutely superb. But it's almost like because he knows the club, but every manager before then has had that initial impact, but then struggled to keep it going. But he hasn't had the money that previous Everton managers had had. What he did with Burnley was nothing short of sensational. And I think he's the perfect guy to... Unfortunately for him, there is a bit of a pigeonhole that, if a team's struggling, who do we want to keep a club up? We'll bring in Sean Dyche. And I actually think it'd be nice to see him at a sort of mid-table club being given a bit of money and see what he can do there.
Well, you can hear from the man himself and his gravelly voice, his iconic voice from midday tomorrow on talkSPORT. Always sure to be a very good listen. Right, a bit earlier we were talking about disallowed goals. Josh King for Fulham last weekend. Fulham have included that one in their Goal of the Month competition, which I love.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely love that.
That is brilliant.
Even though it didn't count, of course.
He'll win it as well, that.
Yeah, of course he will.
He will win Fulham's Goal of the Month that wasn't a goal.
Yeah, you'll have non-Fulham fans voting for that one, I think. Barry is a West Ham fan. Barry, you want to chat about disallowed goals? Which one sticks in your mind, sir?
Yeah, just a quick question. Chat with Scott. The best band of all time, Earth, Wind and Fire, without a doubt.
Classic. Absolute classic, aren't they?
Have you got all their rare groove stuff, like That's the Way of the World, all that stuff, Fantasy and all that? You got all that as well, yeah?
No, I haven't, mate. So can you contact me on on my socials? And I'm definitely interested to hear what you got for me, because they're classics.
There's another band you would love. It's a band called Delegation. They're brilliant. They're like the Real Thing, but an American version. Absolute brilliant.
The Real Thing. Real Thing, I think, only had one number one in the mid-70s.
No, they had about 3.
You To Me, Everything.
Can't Get By Without You, and Can You Feel the Force?
Okay, and they were all number ones?
I don't know number ones, they're up there, but there's a band called Delegation. You would love that. Do you like the song?
Absolutely, mate, absolutely.
Yeah, you like your jazz funk and all that rare groove and all that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty diverse when it comes to that. Bit of house as well, but delegation. I'm going to look out. I'm going to
coming up next on Virgin Radio 80s. Barry, you got a
Thanks, Val. That's all we got time for today.
Right. Anyway, the goal I'm talking about, 1980 semi-final at Villa Park, West Ham Everton. Everyone remembers the replay with Frank getting the winner.
Yeah.
Paul Allen scored, and Brookie was given for offside. Never in a million years, and that was the last minute as well.
Oh. Yeah, we wouldn't have seen the Frank Lampard run around the corner flag otherwise, would we?
Oh, that is brilliant. I went to all them games in them days, home and away, everywhere.
Yeah, brilliant.
Scott, who was your team growing up, fella?
Oh, don't ask that question. Because I am asked that question a lot. But when I'm asked who do I support, I say all the clubs that I played for. And the reason is because when you wear the shirt of a fan's clubs, for me, that supersedes who I supported as a team. But the answer is, Bal, I was born in the Wirral. I'm the only one who's not a supporter of this team now, but all my family are Liverpool.
Oh, they really?
They are.
Oh.
I'm not Liverpool. I'm not Liverpool. So when I got into the first team at Charlton, 17 years of age, it wasn't an intentional thing, but I just stopped supporting them. But I have to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I was born in the Wirral. All my family Liverpool. Didn't have a choice growing up. They were the best team in the 70s and 80s, and not just in England but in Europe. But sort of late 80s when I started playing in the first team, I stopped supporting them.
Barry, great call. 03717222344. That disappointment from Barry.
I know. I feel like I let him down now. He's called in. He's told me about some great music and that. And suddenly I've let him down at the end of it. Barry, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, check.
I can't lie though.
Yeah. He's helped you out so much.
But I'm not a Liverpool fan anymore.
You've broken his heart. Now I was asking for one more England defender, by the way, from this game back in 2005. Got some good shouts coming in. Matt Upson says Keith in Birmingham. Incorrect. Wasn't Matt Upson. Wayne Bridge says Sean. It's not Wayne Bridge either. We are still waiting for that final player.
Defender.
One more. He's a defender. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Okay. So keep it coming in on 81089. We've got half an hour, guys. Otherwise, we're going to delay this.
If we get to the final part, can you tell us the club, or is that too much of a giveaway?
I might have to. Okay. I might have to. Okay. It's full time in the WSL at the Emirates. Charlotte Richardson.
Arsenal 4, London City Lionesses 1. The Gunners come back from behind to issue a punishing opening day defeat on the WSL newbies. City captain Kosovare Asllani got the visitors off to a dream start, winning and then converting a penalty to break the deadlock. Record signing Olivia Smith levelled with a rocket shot into the top right corner. Chloe Kelly nudging the hosts ahead just before the break. And after a good initial showing, tiredness really began to show for the newly promoted side as Arsenal's bench issued 2 knockout blows within 60 seconds. Substitutes Stina Blackstenius and Frida Mornham making an impact to seal victory for the European champions, who are determined to end Chelsea's 6-year domestic reign this season. A tricky challenge, well navigated. Full-time Arsenal 4, London City Lionesses 1.
Charlotte, thank you very much indeed. In just a moment here on talkSPORT, we'll get the latest from the EFL. Ian Abrahams is at Colchester. He'll bring us up to date with some of the other scores, and we'll hear from talkSPORT's voice of football, who is in situ at Villa Park, Adrian Durham, ahead of England against Andorra, which is live on talkSPORT, kick-off at 5 o'clock. He'll know the answer as well.
He was arguing with Sags there, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He'll know the answer to that, won't he?
He'll definitely know.
We're kind of cheating. Right. We're cheating if we get Adrian. We're cheating if
we'll get it in before then.
Yeah, Nigel Adderley didn't help us out, did he? Frank Lampard played. Cheers, Nigel. That's all coming next here on talkSPORT. had some shouts for that final defender, Scott. We're not quite there yet, though. Dan in Lancashire says, was it Michael Dawson? It wasn't. That's a good shout. It's a good shout, but it wasn't Michael Dawson. Mark says Ledley King. It wasn't Ledley King either. Skippy the Villa fan says Martin Keown. It wasn't Martin Keown. So we're still waiting. Look, you've got 25 minutes. You've got 25 minutes.
Come on, we need you.
Come on. We need you. Text on 81089. One more defender from that 2005 England team who played the Netherlands. The last time they played at Villa Park, it was 0-0. Not a memorable game, but we need one more England defender to complete the set. Right, let's get an update from the League 2 game between Colchester and Crewe. Watching for talkSPORT, Ian Abraham.
10 to the break, still Colchester 0, Crewe 0. And to be fair, defences are on top here. Harry Anderson very nearly in for Colchester a minute ago. Tom Booth, the goalkeeper for Crewe, out to clear. But no real alarms at either end. Quickly running through some scores elsewhere in our commentary game on talkSPORT 2 in League 1. Doncaster lead 2-1 against Bradford. Lincoln are 2-1 up against Wigan. And at the bottom, or towards the bottom, Wickham, who haven't won at home yet this season, 1-0 up against Mansfield. Loads of goals in League 2, where earlier Bristol Rovers won by the odd goal in 5 at Newport. Shrewsbury haven't won this season, 2-1 up at Barnet, despite going goal down. Elsewhere, Cheltenham and Accrington haven't won this season. Cheltenham lead 1-0 in that game at Wadden Road. Swindon are currently going top. They lead 1-0 at Cambridge. And the other game to tell you about is Grimsby. This week they had a few problems and kept their fingers crossed about their cup win over Manchester United. 3-0 up at MK Dons. Charles Vernon getting the third goal there. He scored in that cup tie against United. So Grimsby going well at Stadium MK. Here, though, it remains Colchester 0, Crewe 0.
Moose, thanks very much indeed. Now the road to the World Cup continues this evening as England take on Andorra from Villa Park, live on talkSPORT.
The competition is on. It's World Cup season.
It's back to the drawing board.
We're knocking on the door, there's no doubt about that. Under 21's victorious again this summer.
If it's something, it's a good omen. I was so happy for Sarina and for Lee. We will do our very best to follow the example.
Back on the follow-up, and Kane lashes it into the roof of the net, and finally, the deadlock is broken.
I'd be slightly disappointed with him in terms of that fearlessness that you talk about, that fluidity, that freedom. We haven't really seen it.
The desire for a result is married to the need for wholesale improvement.
Pattern of play and balance of the team.
Hit by Anderson, and it's in! Anderson from the edge of the box, and Morgan Rogers runs onto it and scores!
I've got a lot of players at my disposal. You know, what is the blend? What is the balance?
There's a challenge, the nervousness, and there's an excitement all into one, especially with the World Cup coming up. That's what everyone is dreaming, that's what everyone's hope is, but there's still a long way to go.
It's camp by camp until we hopefully arrive in the US, and once we arrive in the US, we can only choose from the players who are fit.
Yeah, England against Andorra. Our team are in situ at Villa Park. All the build-up from 4 o'clock here on talkSPORT. Kick-off at 5, and I'm delighted to welcome in talkSPORT's voice of live football, Adrian Durham. Adrian, how you doing?
I'm okay. It's still Huddersfield 0, Peterborough 0, so I'm okay.
Hey, quick one. Do you remember that one with you and Sags where even you couldn't get a word in edgeways?
Always. There were many.
Never forget. Adrian, before we talk about this game specifically, what have you made of the reign of Thomas Tuchel so far as England manager?
Okay, it's underwhelming. What Henry Winter just said there on talkSPORT is absolutely correct. It is underwhelming. However, it needs to be put into context. And what he said this week, Thomas Tuchel, is that, right, from now on, I'm going to pick my best team. This is all about having an identity. We're going to be front foot, and he has to deliver on that because they've been, I say underwhelming, I'm being kind, they've been pretty poor really, to be honest. They lost to Senegal and didn't really excite in any way. The win in Barcelona against Andorra was one of the worst wins a football team can have, if that's not too much of a contradiction. And before that, there was nothing really special to talk about. So he's talked about an identity, he's talked about front foot, having energy, etc. And from now on, that's what we expect him to deliver. And if they can't do it against Andorra here at Villa Park this afternoon, then everybody has the right to ask questions of Thomas Tuchel. So yeah, underwhelming so far, but let's judge him from now on because the time for experimentation is over.
We'll come back to you in just a second, Adrian, but there has been a goal in League 2 in the game between Colchester and Crewe. Ian Abrahams.
The goal 6 minutes before half-time. Josh March, a low shot from just inside the penalty area. Colchester 0, Crewe 1.
Hey, just want to ask you a question. I mean, you and Piercy did a fantastic interview with Thomas Tuchel last time out. He obviously speaks very well, though he's obviously apologised as well what he said about Jude Bellingham. But did you get the feeling that he's a really experienced manager, but actually he knows what he's doing on an international level? I mean, he said, didn't he, about how before he had his first game in charge that England played with fear in the Euros, no style of play, philosophy, not hunger, was mental, not physical. And yet we haven't really seen an improvement yet. Do you get the feeling that actually he knows exactly what he wants to do and now we'll be seeing it?
OK, I've got no evidence for this, and I'm not sure he would ever admit it. My own personal belief is I think he's been quite shocked, very surprised at the task in hand. So when you get the England players together and you put them on paper or put them in a room or put them on a training pitch, it looks amazing. They look like they're going to win the World Cup. There's some serious names in that squad available to him. But when you put them out on a pitch, it's suddenly a very different matter, and there's a lot of baggage comes with it. This is why the England job is so hard, and why I think a lot of people have underappreciated what Gareth Southgate did. It's an incredibly difficult job. I think he talked very well in the beginning. I think he's now realised, Thomas Tuchel, actually this job is way harder than I'd appreciated, but he's prepared to give it a go and tackle it head on. I think that's the situation we're in at the moment. He knows that time's running out, less than a year until the World Cup. And so we've just got to wait and see if he gets it right. But I think he's been quite shocked at the baggage that comes with playing for England, managing England.
Ollie, before you ask, you go in next, but I couldn't agree more with what you just said there. And I also made a little note about perhaps Gareth Southgate didn't do quite as bad a job as maybe some people said, but you go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, Adrian, we heard from Thomas Tuchel a bit earlier talking about Harry Kane. We're going to get the full team news in just a moment, but he said that, with quite a definitive answer, that Kane was going to start this game. Do you feel that it is necessary that Kane starts against Andorra?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's bewildering when England fans complain that we don't win major tournaments, and then England fans then say, oh, Harry Kane shouldn't be starting. We need to play with our best team when possible. In fact, this was the quote from Thomas Tuchel yesterday. We start with the best team possible, no experiments from now on. And they have to play together in order to get better playing together. If all of a sudden you're throwing them in at the start of a tournament all together, then I think you're going to have big problems. I would say to him, look, get this right. Harry Kane starts. Play your best team possible. There's enough injuries. We know that players like John Stones on here, Jude Bellingham's not here, and they're likely to be in the starting 11 when fit and available. So there will be changes, but play your best team possible. They need to start playing better together to get used to playing with each other. So that, for me, is the right policy.
Yeah, but hey, that's not going to happen. You just mentioned about Jude Bellingham. Cole Palmer's not around at the moment. I could name 4 or 5 other players. John Stones, another one off the top of my head. I look at the 4 teams that I've got in front of me he's picked so far, and there's only Harry Kane that's played in all of them. And even if we're just looking forward as well, I mean, if we think about Harry Kane, what he was like in the Euros, he should have been dropped, and he wasn't dropped because he played in every single game in the qualifiers and every single game in the major tournaments. There is no plan B when it comes to being up front.
Hang on, let's get the teams. Jim Proudfoot is alongside me here at Villa Park, and Harry Kane is just walking down the tunnel right in front of me, and I'm pretty sure he is going to start this afternoon. Thomas Tuchel told us yesterday. Jim Proudfoot's going to tell us right now. Jim.
Yeah, he does lead the line as he looks to score for a 6th successive England game. The headline selections: Elliot Anderson becomes the 4th player to make his England debut under Thomas Tuchel. There's a first competitive start for Eberechi Eze, and Marcus Rashford is also amongst those recalled as the 3 Lions make 7 changes to the side that was beaten by Senegal. So it's Pickford in goal, a back 4 of James, Guéhi, Byrne and Lewis Skelly, Anderson holding in midfield, Madueke, Rice, Eze and Rashford, who started the 2 March internationals, and Kane, who has scored in every game under Tuchel so far. So that team again: Pickford, James, Guéhi, Byrne and Lewis Skelly, Anderson, Madueke, Rice, Eze and Rashford, and Kane.
Jim, thanks very much. Listen, I understand what you're saying about Harry Kane. His goal record is phenomenal. Once again, he's the top goal scorer for England. And you tell me, if you're going to drop him, you tell me a better England striker out there to replace him, because there literally isn't one.
It's not about better. It's having a different option. We know that Harry Kane is number one, but he's so far number one that the number two, even when our number one doesn't play very well, number two is seen as, well, no, you've got to play Harry Kane every single time.
Well, the number two scored the winner in the Euro semi-final, so...
Yeah, he did, so why not...
You're making up a problem that isn't there, Scott.
With respect to Andorra, why not give Ollie Watkins a real good chance and feel like he's a proper England player and he's not a million miles away from the number one, rather than how it looks like at the moment?
Well, because we need to be better. The best players available need to be better. Did you see us in the last camp lose to Senegal?
But there's no Bellingham.
Beat Andorra just 1-0.
There's no Palmer. There's no Stones. This is not the best possible team that we'll hopefully have in the World Cup. So it's difficult to say, well, this is the team that's going to be in the World Cup, because it won't be.
What I'm going to say to you is, without Harry Kane playing in Barcelona, would we have scored? Because he got the only goal of the game against Andorra. So I think it's a little bit arrogant for any Englishman to say, well, we don't need to play Harry Kane. Yeah, I think we do. We're England. We haven't won a World Cup since 1966. Yeah. We haven't won a Euros ever. So let's play our best players. Let's not take anything for granted, because we are just England.
Yeah, we're going to win a World Cup, so we need to play our best team against Andorra.
Well, we'll see. I haven't got a problem with it. I don't understand why people have got a problem with Harry Kane playing. He's an absolute goal machine. He wants to score as many goals as possible. He's on 73. Why wouldn't he want to get to 100?
Because we need a plan
I just don't get it.
Adrian, thanks very much.
Plan B scored the winner in the Euro semi-final. No problems. And what are you thanking me for? And you haven't asked me about the 2005 defender.
Me and you, let's carry on another time.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the build-up from 4 o'clock. Adrian, thank you very much indeed. Adrian Durham there at Villa Park. And as I say, plenty of other things to get into. Start for Elliot Anderson as well. Which
that's brilliant. Fantastic.
He's done really, really well at Forest
to
get into that squad too. And some other interesting selections. Marcus Rashford in that starting lineup too. And Noni Madueke. So Adrian and the guys will get fully into that from 4 o'clock ahead of kickoff on talkSPORT at 5 o'clock. away from the 80s, right at the end.
Listen, it's a great tune as well. But
it's a good closing song. It's a good closing song, this from Jack. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done.
This is the Saturday session here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Scott Minto. Going to bring you the halftime classifieds in just a moment from Leagues 1 and 2. We'll check in with the Moot as well. Just had the England team news drop, and you can get your thoughts in, by the way. Kane starting against Andorra. You can text us on 81089. But Paul's got in touch saying it's a disgrace that Rashford's in this England squad. Never mind the first 11. His application in his career has been poor, but I feel like Rashford has made a fairly good start, hasn't he, at Barcelona?
He's played some games, he's not played some games. If you look at the third goal against Como in the Joan Gamper Trophy, he was absolutely brilliant. He's capable of the moments, and that's what Thomas Tuchel's going for, to win a World Cup. I don't think there's enough moments in there, and he wouldn't be my number one, but if he were to get back to the... How many times have we said that of a few years ago? Then he'd definitely be worthy, but... We'll see as he develops in Barcelona.
Absolutely. There's another text here that agrees with you, Scott, I think, on this Harry Kane situation. It says, Harry Kane's never going to be dropped. He hardly gets subbed. It's like nobody else is allowed to play. What happens? And this
does he take the ball home? You know?
yeah, it's mine. But I think this is the key. But what happens if Kane gets injured before
or not even that? Even if he doesn't play well in the tournament, like it happened with the Euros, I have to just clarify. I'm a massive Harry Kane fan.
Of course.
I'm not even sure he's given enough credit as he should do. Incredible footballer as well as finisher. But we need to make sure that the person who would be the plan B, the number two, feels like he can step in. And Ollie Watkins, and age's right to sort of say, look what Ollie Watkins did in that semi-final. Brilliant. But if he started a game, if Harry was injured or not playing well, does he feel like, yeah, I can absolutely do this because I've been here before? Or is it a bit like, let's see how this one goes?
Yeah.
I don't think he's given it a plan B, whoever it may be, is given enough chance and time at the moment.
By the way, you have got less than 5 minutes. We need one more England defender. We've been asking you all afternoon. The last time England played at Villa Park was back in 2005. They drew 0-0 with the Netherlands. We've been looking for the 19 players who played sometime in the Premier League in both the England squad and the Netherlands squad. We need one more England defender. Please give us your shouts on 81089. You're so close. Before we give you the halftime classifieds, let's head to the game between Colchester and Crewe. Ian Abrahams has been taking in the first half for talkSPORT.
Colchester 0, Crewe 1. Crewe heading joint top as things stand at the moment, thanks to Josh Marsh's second goal of the season, shot from just inside the penalty area 7 minutes before half-time, and even a half before that and after, but Crewe have the lead thanks to March's goal. It's Colchester 0, Crewe 1.
This is game day.
Halftime classifieds.
Yeah, let's bring you the scores from up and down the country in Leagues 1 and 2. In League 1, half-time, it's Bolton 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, Doncaster 3, Bradford City 1, live on talkSPORT 2. It's Huddersfield 0, Peterborough 0, Lincoln 2, Wigan 1, Plymouth 2, Stockport 1, Port Vale 1, Leyton Orient 2. The game between Reading and Northampton has been postponed, as with the game between Stevenage and Barnsley. It's Rotherham 1, Exeter 0, and Wycombe 1, Mansfield 0. In League 2, earlier on it finished Newport 2, Bristol Rovers 3. At half-time, it's Barnet 1, Shrewsbury 3, Barrow 0, Swindon 2, Cambridge 0, Oldham 1, Cheltenham 1, Accrington 0, Colchester 0, Crewe 1, Harrogate 0, Crawley 1, MH Dons 0, Grimsby 3, Notts County 0, Fleetwood 0, Salford 0, Tranmere 0, Walsall 1, Chesterfield 0, and the late kick-off is Bromley against Gillingham at 5:30. There we go. MK Dons, by the way, down to 10, and they are 3-0 down to Grimsby. And you spoke a bit earlier about, you know, a bit of pressure on them this season with the acquisitions they've made.
But Paul Warne is a really good manager at that level, so got to stay calm with that one. And good to see Rotherham 1-0 up at half-time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to ask you a bit more about the England lineup that we've just heard, all the build-up, as I say, from 4 o'clock. Eberechi Eze getting a start as well.
Yeah.
What about Noni Madueke? What have you made of him so far in an Arsenal shirt? Started the other day against Liverpool and in a game that had few chances. I personally thought that Madueke was Arsenal's best attacker.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, and I don't quite understand why some Arsenal fans were underwhelmed by the signing, because I've seen enough of Nonny in a Chelsea shirt, and I'm really disappointed he's left Chelsea, albeit for decent money. I thought not only was he Arsenal's best player against Liverpool, I also thought he's probably our best player. Was it the Senegal game where he played? And I just think he's confident enough to know that he can do it. And I think he's been absolutely fantastic whenever he's played. The Andorra game, I think it was. He can play on the left, he can play on the right and be inverted. So I'm really pleased to see him in there as well. I want to see Jared Bowen in there at some point, but Eze, I think, and he's going to play. It looks like he's going to play more of a central role. I think that's exactly where I want to see him.
Scott Minto, guess what?
What?
Guess what? In injury
have we got it?
Time.
Have we?
At the back post, they have done it. They have done it. We have been asking you all afternoon for the 19 players from both England and the Netherlands who played out a 0-0 draw at Villa Park. It was the last time that England played at Villa Park. It was back in 2005. We've been asking you for about the last, it's felt like years. But the last
Tim, the producer, has literally just come in now and given me the sheet. So thank you. Finally.
You've got the answer there. Yeah. But it is Alexia from Merseyside and a fair few others as well who have come through with the other Neville, of course. Phil Neville. So, don't worry.
Great shout.
Don't worry, because the England kickoff time will be the same. Scott Minto, thank you very much indeed. It's been
pleasure,
fantastic.
mate.
Really enjoyed it. Bit of Robbie Williams to play us out as well. Thank you, Jack, for that. Don't go anywhere, though, on talkSPORT, because Adrian Durham is coming up next, live from Villa Park with coverage of England against Andorra in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Sing us out, Robbie.
I'm loving angels instead.